5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bonifay Banter podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Danny Hampson in the studio tonight, dude. This is going to be a fun one, along with Shane.
Hell yeah, boys.
Driving all the way up from Fort Lauderdale. Where are you living nowadays? In Fort Lauderdale?
Lake Worth, but
Lake Worth.
They just renamed it to Lake Worth Beach.
Oh,
nice.
How do you feel about
the
that?
beach onto the end of it.
We love it, man. Yeah, just classed it right up.
I don't like it when people change like the slogans of like in Claremont here. It used to be Claremont was always Gym of the Hills. That was like their slogan, and then they changed it to Choice of Champions.
I'm staying off Champions Way because I have the wave runners, so I parked them over at the
So you
Home 2 Suites over there. Yeah,
Exactly.
right off
So you're-
Champions Way.
yeah,
and
you're right in the pocket.
they repainted the water tower, everything.
Well, obviously you're a champion, so you chose to go there. So I mean, is there statement living up to the?
It was a no-brainer when I saw before the hotel was off.
There's only one spot for you, and that's Champions Way.
Right, actually, when I was waiting on the Uber to come over, there was like this dude that was just. I mean, I didn't know if there's like must be like a bodybuilding thing or aggressive body type.
Oh, really?
Very, very aggressive.
And you recognize aggressive. Yeah, Mikey's pretty yoked. Your little brother here, so he's you can recognize real.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But hold on. So Lake Worth Beach, lake and beach in the same title.
Yeah, Lake Worth Beach.
Wow.
But
You
I
don't see that
actually
a lot.
live by the beach, so Lake Worth used to just be like, people thought of it as Lake Worth, but it went all the way out west, and so they tried to make the distinction to make the beach area a little bit nicer. It has a reputation of not being the nicest.
Lake Worth.
Yeah, Lake Worthless.
Lake Worth. Yeah.
I think that's isn't that where Watson grew up? No, that was more Lantana. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, so Lantana is just one exit below us.
Right.
So he grew up on like Osborne, right over there, and
They call it Lake Lantana Beach.
they're just Lantana.
Yeah, Shane, you're right. How does it be? It's Lake Worth, but then it's also beach too.
Yeah.
It's everything.
It's everything.
There's like a history to it though, because I believe originally there was a lake there, and then they cut out to make an exit to the ocean down by Palm Beach.
Like an inlet, kind of like.
Yeah, so I think that's still called Lake Worth Inlet, but we always call it by other things. But
And that was man-made. Most of them are like New Smyrna.
like almost all
Sebastian,
of them are man-made. Yeah, so like the Point one's man-made, that one's man-made. And
Are the jetties man-made, or does the water never really came in to the intercoastal at all, like through any of those? So I didn't realize. I didn't really know. You're a lifetime Floridian, and you're.
I know, but I'm just like a Keys guy, so I'm not really too sure about these things. But I did go to the Henry Flagler Museum like 5 or 6 years ago, so I feel
Really? I feel
bit.
like that levels up on Florida knowledge a little bit. And I have some trivia questions we're going to do a little bit later, all based on the state of Florida. So you might have a leg up on Shane. For this big prize.
Did Brian help you with this?
No, this is Google. Google helped me. Jeff Bezos helped me with these.
Because I know Brian's always trying to get me with that kind of stuff.
Bear does know some real Florida.
He really
facts, man.
does. Yeah, I mean, he studies it.
Yeah, but Danny, give when we were talking earlier, what was what we were talking about?
The rundown.
Yeah,
from
what's
the
the
Keys
rundown
to
from
the-
Florida, like south to the north, like.
It's just a no-brainer. Yeah, we were talking about all these guys that moved to California and how sad it is.
We lost Bear, we lost Bob, we lost some real Floridians.
Watson.
And
Watson,
yeah, we're just trying to, I was trying to explain, like, we're sitting here in Parks is looking out over a gorgeous lake, a chain of gorgeous lakes that come from the green swamp.
Look at this as we're sitting out on the porch.
Yeah.
A chain of the.
There's actually an extra out there wake surfing too.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. They're always there.
What was it though? You went from the Keys to.
Oh yeah, I mean, you start down in the Florida Keys. You have John Pennicamp State Park, which is the only underwater state park in the whole United States. It's a living coral reef, and the Key West with all its culture and history.
Miami, the melting pot.
Move on up. Miami, the melting pot of culture and
the Everglades,
wealth, and it's just corrupted, and it's
the lakes, the Mickey Mouses, and the springs, and the best sand in the world,
the sugar sand of the Panhandle.
That's good.
If you get bored in Florida, you just don't have a car.
That's true. Dude.
because you do have to drive everywhere.
Or a boat. You can almost get anywhere in Florida with a boat.
That's true. Yeah, if you don't have a boat, you still might be bored, even if you have a car. So.
Is it more valuable? I mean, could it be more valuable to have a boat if you were kind of like running on the low side of things? Like, could you like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you could like, if you were really, really poor, almost homeless, and you just had a boat or a shitty car, why not have the boat to where you can go catch fish, where you can go kind of like anywhere you want, and you can
it
kick it
sounds like
underneath the bridge.
you're asking them to have ambition, and usually most homeless people don't have the greatest ambition, which is it's like a it's a catch-22.
They have ambition, but it's just guided towards
Yeah,
usually a more specific goal.
Yeah,
They need to refocus their ambition,
Yeah.
maybe.
But they are. I mean, they're very ambitious. The fact that they can sit on some of these corners, as hot as it is, and hold the sign, I'm like, man, that's harder than most jobs. I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
Yeah,
I always thought like if I was going to be homeless, instead of going to like San Fran or like anywhere in the Midwest, it seems like you would just freeze up there.
Yeah.
I would definitely make my way down to the Keys, and I would kick it in the shade underneath one of those bridges, and I would just try to catch fish and drink like an 18-pack of Busch Light all day or something.
That sounds like
And that's ambition.
not too far off of what Dan does.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much just described my retirement plan. I hope to be there in about 6 years.
Substitute the Busch Light for Miller Lights, and I'm pretty sure that's Dan's life right now. No. Minus the
I mean, if you want to be homeless, come to Lake Worth Beach. We're a sanctuary city. You're allowed to park just anywhere in the city limits and live.
Damn, so you can just post up
anywhere, man. It's beautiful, man.
And from the sound of it, you get a lake and a beach.
Yeah, you do, man. You got the intercoastal, and you can swim across it and go to the beach, or you can just walk across the bridge.
Yeah.
Municipal golf course. All the iguanas you can eat.
And now, it is crazy that is a thing. Like, people do catch the iguanas and eat them.
Oh, big time.
I love the stories of people catching the iguanas in the wintertime when they think they're dead and they freeze and their heart slows down to enough to where they like lock up, and then they put them like in their trash can or in their car,
freak out.
and all of a sudden they warm back up and they all come back out to life at the same time. Dude, it's gonna be.
It's a real thing.
How's your iguana catching skills? I bet you must be a ninja down in growing up in the Keys.
Yeah, I caught my first one when I was 8 years old at Harris Park. It was a good one, 4.5 feet.
4.5 feet? That's like a Komodo dragon, dude.
Dude, it was like a dream come true. I was leaving baseball, but it was what's it called? Pitching machine baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just saw it. And I had my dad stop, and I just ran as fast as I could at it, and it got stuck in a chain link fence. Yeah, and since then,
you dropped the glove and kind of like.
No. This was after the game was over. Yeah. No, I could never do that.
What a way to celebrate a good win.
We just talked about Champions Way too.
Yeah. Choice of
Not gonna leave the field.
What position did you play basketball?
Oh, third base. I was really bad at it, so
Just a bad Wade Boggs, huh?
that was just that was a 1 year type deal.
1 year contract in Little League and one and done.
After I got that iguana, I knew what I really wanted to fight. No, but seriously, in high school, we used to. It's not good, but we would, it was the Keys, and back when we went to the school in the Keys, it was a little different because my dad went to school there and everything, so a lot of the teachers were my teachers, and
they kind of taught your dad and
I just wouldn't go that much. And me and my best friend Kyle and all our friends like Topher, Thomas, we'd all just leave, and we'd instead of doing anything really bad though, as 18-year-olds, we'd just go catch iguanas and see how many we could get in one.
So you're skipping school to go catch iguanas, not like you're smoking weed down in the boat ramp or something. You're being productive. I mean, let's not put a ceiling on it.
I mean,
I miss Topher, dude. I remember the little Toph.
I may have, we may have tried, I don't know if we ever inhaled, but
yeah, let's be clear.
I wouldn't do it either.
But I mean, iguana catching is, believe it or not, something we spent a lot of our time doing. What you do is you get them.
What's the best technique?
So you got to have a group of guys, or even just two people is fine. You can do it by yourself if you're lonely one day. But you scare them into the water, and then you jump in after them.
Because they're not good swimmers, or
no, they're really good. But if you have a mask and fins, you're a little bit better.
Got them.
And their tails are already busy.
They're just busy. So it's easiest to grab them when they're in the water.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes if the water's warm, they're really good swimmers. They'll hide under little rocks and stuff.
They can hold their breath and swim down.
Oh yeah, a long time. Yeah.
I've only kind of seen them like shred the surface.
No, and then they'll figure out little places like under the seawalls where there's little air pockets way up under there.
Whoa, like little spring holes, like in the caves or something, huh?
You just wait them out though, because they don't want to be in there too long.
How long you?
I didn't know you were such an iguana expert.
How long do you think an iguana can hold its breath for?
I have no idea, man. But like I said,
we were there for a while.
we didn't really have a whole lot going on.
Dan, what are nowadays looking like for you? You're out on the fish charter. You doing that?
Yes, I was after I left. Retired from my illustrious career. Not that it ended. I just walked away on top.
Walked away. Dropped the mic and walked away. There's a difference.
I wasn't driving the free for all van for
that's a good call.
cents on the dollar.
Good return.
No, so then I got into real estate. I was trying to do that, and the whole time I've been with Yamaha, so that's been like really lucky.
Yeah. I heard you
You drove up with your Yamaha, huh?
Oh yeah. I brought 2 wave runners up here. Gonna do some training tomorrow in Orlando.
Nice.
But okay, I'm asking about the fish charter because we did a charity event for Bob Sitchell a little bit ago, and you had one of the raffles there, and it was for a 2-day fish charter with you.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely trying to get way more involved in the charter side of things right now. Because I was so involved in real estate and Yamaha, I couldn't focus on it too much. But now I'm, kind of getting out of the real estate stuff so much.
Yeah.
And
it sounds a lot more fun being out catching some fish, doing that.
For sure.
But needless to say, Cole Van Hoth won, and we need to get on down there because he said he's bringing me.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah.
I know. I can't wait.
Wait,
either.
you get to go with Cole? Wait, so Cole won the
2-day
Danny
fish.
Hampson fish experience at Bob Sitchell's.
Bob
raffle.
Sitchell's charity event
charity.
that we did, and Cole won, so he's bringing me.
Yeah, you can come if you want to, Parks.
I can come to. There's room in the boat.
Yeah, no, the boat's got plenty of room.
Hey, don't tell Cole I'm coming. I'm going to show up.
Yeah, just
and
show
be
It's
like,
a
with
1988
fuck Cole
Parker,
shirt on.
baby.
Oh, Parker, an '88 Parker. Those are the best ones.
Yeah, redone from the stringers up. You don't buy an '88 Parker because it makes sense. You buy it because you love it.
You buy it 'cause you love it.
I mean, if it's a Parker, we got to be Parks then,
Yeah, we do. No, you definitely could come, man.
Rolls off the tongue.
It
you
does.
have to.
You have to.
No, that'd be fun. No, I want you guys to come down there. I mean, like, I was just kidding. Lake Worth Beach is actually fun. We're 9 blocks. So you just walk downtown. There's like 10 bars. And then we ride our bikes to the beach every weekend. It's like maybe
How many
a mile
bars
and a
do you
half.
need to go down somewhere, Shane?
What's that?
How many bars do you need for somewhere to have before you go down there? and leave your
Minimum
house?
of like 4. I'd like a
10
solid
qualifies,
4.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
A minimum of 4. If there's only 1 or 2 in the town, I
Mm-hmm.
can tell that those people don't like to drink and they're not my type of people.
No. Yeah, the Lake Worth's our type of people.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I believe Danny on
They've
that.
already all gotten that retirement plan maybe a little too early. There's a lot of them hanging out under the bridge.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like me and my girlfriend's daughter, or my girlfriend's daughter has this thing where every first week, we have her, we have to go feed the people down that chill.
I like that.
Homeless
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever.
cool.
I like it, but I don't like it because, I don't want to tell her like
That you don't like it.
that I don't want to feed them, but I don't want them associating her,
Yeah. No, it's a little catch-22.
the gray area.
Yeah.
So I just try to eat as many of the cheeseburgers as I can. I always buy 12 before I bring them back
Just
home.
as a safety kind
So
of
I buy
like 2 or
12 and then I like eat 2 or 3.
even 10. Yeah, I don't
She
know.
gets real. She gets so mad.
Don't check the receipts, babe.
And she's like, I thought we got 12. There's only 8 in the bag. You're
You're
like,
like, Danny, we could have fed those other ones if you didn't eat 3. Just looking out for you.
Man, I love the freaking Keys, dude. I'm so jealous that you kind of got to grow up there. Like, what was it like? Like, because I feel like everyone who like tourists down to the Keys, like they love it. But like, I feel like when you grew up there, like Colin Harrington, you probably know, like, I feel like it's a whole different
Yeah.
thing when you're like truly from the Keys.
Yeah,
'Cause
and-
who is really from the Keys?
And like my mom was born in Key West.
Damn.
Yeah, my dad was born in like Hollywood, but he went to high school in the Keys and everything. Hollywood, Florida, not California.
Yeah. Let's clear that.
Yeah.
Up.
Sorry.
Shout out Hollywood, Florida.
Hollywood, baby. But But no, yeah.
So
like,
they both grew up there too, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
So
And like my great grandpa put in like all the telephone poles for Bell South back in the day. So, like
Sick.
all the poles. Yeah.
That's it.
can you imagine like building the Keys, like making these bridges and all these just crazy, just like random islands with mangroves, and you're just like chopping down, making your own like streets and kind of just like it must have been when was that, like back in like the 50s or?
So yeah, he put in all the telephone poles. I think they started in like 52 or 53. Because my grandma, I think she went down there in like 54.
That's crazy. Your roots like in the Keys, like
Yeah.
Yeah. That is really cool.
Born with a beer in my hand, dude. Just kidding.
You think you just naturally know how to fish? Like, how did your mom and dad meet? So they were in high school. They went to high school together. And
No, sorry. My dad went to high school at Coral Shores, where I went. Hurricanes. What up? 06. 06. But my mom went to high school in Key West, and they're the Conks.
Yeah, no.
But anyways, they actually met at in Tallahassee, because for some reason everyone from the Keys goes to like FSU or TCC.
Yep.
And my dad had gotten a football scholarship to like Iowa or Summer, like a little school up there. But he got hurt and just kind of burned out up there. So he just drove back to Tallahassee where all his buddies were, and then he met my mom. And
Went to school.
That's really cool.
I've been out last in the Keys, dude. What I was watching is it Tide and Time? Dude, what's when your dad took your mom out on the boat? Like this is like the first date that your dad like took your mom out on.
Yeah, it wasn't quite the first
date, or like it was maybe right as they first started dating.
Yeah, they were
like,
first dating. And I remember like when I was even a kid, like
how old were you when this happened? Like
I wasn't born.
Oh yeah, I guess either.
Yeah, but like when I was a kid, I don't know why the story resurfaced, so they would go on talk shows.
Really?
And,
about this story?
Yeah.
It is fascinating.
It wasn't Sally Jesse Raphael. It was like this other red-haired lady.
But tell the viewers. I know we watched we watched the Titan Times, but let these people know, because this is an awesome story. I love it.
I just figured everyone's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of traumatic for the fact that you love it so much.
No, but I mean,
it is heartwarming.
No, they had recently started dating, and they were in Key West visiting. I think they were still living in Tallahassee at that time, or maybe they had already moved back to the Keys and were like living in the Upper Keys, but not together. I don't really know that exact thing, but they took out my great uncle's boat, and my dad speared a fish, and it was just shallow water. They're like messing around. He never thought of anything, and then this big shark came and bit my mom's calf.
They were spearfishing, or like
my dad? Yeah, he speared a fish. They were actually looking for conch back then. You could harvest conch in the Keys, and my dad shot a fish.
Showing off for mom, shot a big old grouper or something.
Big hogfish.
Big old hogfish, yeah.
Back then they're down there still, and and then the shark came out of nowhere.
And it was trying to go for the fish and probably miss hit, or just,
I think that's what they say.
That happens quite often in spearfishing.
Well, they say that in Tide and Time, but I mean, sharks, honestly, they get fired up, they'll hit whatever. Right. So wrong place, wrong time.
But having the surrendered fish right there,
yeah, just having the blood in the water,
kind of
and hearing the vibrations. So I just smashed her, like destroyed her leg. And my dad stayed in the water, fought off the shark.
Oh, you fought it off?
Yeah, while my mom swam back to the boat. My mom got in the boat, and then if it wasn't for her doing this, she would have died. But there was some spear gun bands, and spear gun bands are super
stretchy. Like rubber band, yeah.
And she tourniqueted herself.
Wow.
Whoa.
And even, what a smart move. Holy shit. Especially under like the pressure of like when you're freaking out, like almost about to pass out.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
For sure. She pulled that off.
Yeah, definitely like some kind of divine energy. But even with her doing that, she had lost over half the blood in her body when they got back to shore.
Yeah, in the thing, they said that they were like 4 miles away from shore. So like she tourniqueted, and your dad probably got back to the boat and probably just like pinned
they pinned it, but still she had lost over half the blood in her body. And back then in Key West, I think this was like 84 maybe, there was a whole wing on the hospital that they didn't really know what was wrong with all these guys, because back then, Key West like had a big, homosexual population. And back then, for whatever reason, your family couldn't give you a blood transfusion. So they were trying to get my mom to get
Whoa, what a crazy long.
bizarre. So they're trying to get her to do a blood transfusion, and she didn't even know why, but she just said no over and over and over again. But chances are, if she had gotten the transfusion, she could
Who
have.
knows what? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was tragic because
That's
she would see these people around the wings and stuff. She wasn't allowed to go up there, but unfortunately, all those poor guys died. It was just gnarly back then because no one really understood what was happening.
Dude, your mom is tough as fucking. As much as you think Tim, if you see a picture of your dad looks like he's freaking 35 years old, dude, and he's just yoked and I mean, your mom's tough. That's crazy, dude. And your dad said he goes, at that moment when I saw her be that strong and overcome this, he goes, I knew I wanted to marry her.
Yeah, it was,
and he it's a very
it was crazy to actually
Alliance
see
did an
that,
amazing job. We're gonna put it up. It's called Tide and Time, and it's your documentary. And Alliance did an amazing job on this, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't know why they did that on me, but I appreciated it.
I know why. It was because you're such a badass, dude. That was, and your story is so good. There's so many ups and downs and cool parts to that whole thing. It's an amazing story from start to finish.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my mom, dude, I mean, even now, she's still tough. Her leg still doesn't work that good. You would never know,
It was at her calf.
Yeah, her whole calf, so she can't, feel anything below her knee, really. She has a shark tattoo on there now. And,
Sick,
nice.
dude.
and then, I think 3 days after she got out of the hospital, that's why I was so surprised that my dad was so emotional in the movie, because 3 days after she got out of the hospital, he brought her to this thing. It used to be called Shark Fest, a marathon, where they would kill as many sharks as they could and hang them up all around.
Wow.
Her legs totally immobilized, and she's been in the hospital for over a
How
month.
is she not going to marry him after that,
dude.
dude? That's a great. I kind of like that movie.
It's a-
Happy Your Dad.
It's
He
a
got her,
therapeutic
man.
thing. It's look at what we did to while you were gone. Look at what we did, and there's just sharks hanging everywhere dead.
No, he's got he's got a pretty good get out of jail free card that he's used.
No, that's
I mean,
good.
a couple times.
A couple times. Well, that's cool.
Well, dude. So you grew up in the Keys. You must have took some hurricanes on the head over the years, because Florida gets hit with hurricanes all the time. I've lived in Florida my entire life, but being 50 miles inland, the hurricanes don't really. We've had some wind, they'll mess up our shingles, take down some trees and stuff, but when you're in the Keys, you're dealing with 7-foot storm surges. It's a whole different monster.
Yeah,
down
it's
there, huh?
it's definitely totally different. Just because really the storm surge stuff's kind of crazy. But I mean, believe it or not, I missed a lot of them because a lot of the big ones hit after I had started wake skating.
Right.
So I'd be gone. I remember my family would always get mad at me because I'd be I'd be on the road, and back then you had to put the shutters up where you had to screw them in, and all.
Yeah.
It was a horrible process.
And you could be there for that. Unfortunately.
I mean, the worst one I went through is Hurricane Andrew, and that was a horrible
92.
hurricane. And that actually didn't really destroy the Keys, but it destroyed Homestead.
Yeah, it went
And
a little
we-
bit more north.
We evacuated to South Miami, Kendall.
Oh yeah, so you moved up. You're let's evacuate the Keys.
We went
and
into
go right
the
to Homestead.
heart of it. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And we were in this bowling alley.
Y'all stuck it out in a bowling alley.
That was the shelter, and
Were
we
you
were there.
able to bowl?
Yeah, free
No
bowling.
way.
That's pretty sick.
For real?
Yeah.
That's paradise.
But I remember the whole roof was woo, almost about to come off.
Yeah, because what bowling alley's brand new? Things probably built in the 60s.
Yeah, in 94 South Kendall. It was probably built maybe 10 years before with fake money.
That's good.
Hurricane Andrew ripped. I remember we went down to I think 3 event nationals in '92, down to Okeechobee Park, and I remember driving through and seeing all these palm trees ripped over, all these just huge roots, and I remember thinking it was I've never really seen that kind of.
Yeah, devastation. Yeah, when we drove back, they wouldn't even let you into the Keys, but I forget how somehow we got in, but we didn't have power or water or anything for I want to say 2 weeks, because back then everything was pumped in from the mainland.
Yeah.
It's different now, but yeah, so it was gnarly.
That is crazy.
How'd you get into water sport? So your dad loved water skiing, or kind of that took you out? How did Danny Hampson become Danny Hampson in the fucking Keys, dude? This is unheard of that anyone becomes a professional athlete in the Keys. And it's not like you moved elsewhere. You were already really good when you and we'll get into it when you sign with Cassette and stuff, but like you were, I mean,
Yeah, so
it was
like,
years down in the Keys.
well, yeah, like my dad when he was growing up in Hollywood, I think him and his cousin Bobby like had this little boat, and they would kneeboard and water ski and stuff. And my dad was like really, really good. Like he would surf, or he skates, you know, he still does all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, believe it or not, they made me kneeboard when I was 18 months old.
Yeah, that's awesome. Put them on their strap, Velcro them down.
No, they didn't strap me in, thank God. Yeah, so I started when I was 18 months old. The next day I started smoking.
That kneeboard lifestyle, dude.
Just keeping it rugged. You're
No,
like,
so I mean, I was out there forever. Like, you know, we would do it all the time. Me and my dad would always go kneeboarding and all that kind of stuff. And then I don't remember why, but like I had gotten a wakeboarding magazine, and I think it had Scott Harwood on the cover, like doing a stiffy off a wave or something.
sick.
And
Love
like a
some
yellow
Harwood.
board, yeah.
Harwood had a sick. What was it? Toe side.
Batwing. He invented the Batwing. Yeah.
Batwing.
Damn, that's some good trivia. Actually, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was his thing. Did big old long shredded hair, and he was like, he would always do like, he always rode directionals and just like ripped in the waves. He was like, I think he was from like Sebastian or kind of like down that way.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah, he had a cover, and he was doing a stiffy with a yellow board, and I don't know. I got that magazine, and like, I was just, you know, just hooked, dude. Like, I was like so into it. Like, I would just like I would read all these magazines over and over again. Like, and I would just obsess over it. Like, I just got super, super obsessed with it, and I honestly wasn't even very good at it at all.
But you love the water. Your dad, you're always out fishing. And
Yeah,
stuff.
and then, like,
you live the ocean kind of like
Yeah,
water
and then I've
lifestyle,
always been
so-
like around, like I was always kind of skateboarding and stuff. But I mean, at this point, I'm like only like 9 or 10, so you're not like.
Do you hate
really...
team sports like baseball? And
No. I mean, I played soccer until I graduated high school.
Oh damn!
Yeah, team
Yeah.
captain. Me and Kyle.
captain.
Oh,
Me and
shit.
Kyle, team captains. We weren't a good team.
But hey, you were the captain of that shitty team.
Me and my best friend Kyle. Yeah. You could imagine us. Yeah, we're definitely not the best captains or examples, but
I'll follow your lead anywhere, Captain
Yeah,
Dan.
I'll follow you, dude. Yeah.
Captain Dan, I'll follow you anywhere, man.
come up with speeches and like base it off that. What's that? The Perfect Storm movie.
George Clooney and who was the other one?
Yeah, I know. They all died.
You drive in, going slow, past the pond where you used to play as a kid. You're getting closer now.
You're getting closer.
You smell the grass. You hear the cheers.
You hear the cheers.
You're a Corshore high school soccer player. Is there anything better in the whole world? Let's go.
What?
I would love running out of the locker
about
room.
old school people like being able to quote some fucking movies
Yeah,
and shit.
no.
Oh yeah, I remember I saw that on one of the episodes. you guys
Yeah,
did,
dude.
Yeah, I would love the idea of running out of the locker room going, I think he just was quoting Perfect Storm. Right? Like you don't know at the time, but you're like, I think I've heard this before.
Well, by the time we were in high school, we didn't care that much. But when we were younger, I actually did do this bizarre, like, remember that movie In God's Hands?
Yeah.
Shane
Shane Dorian. Yeah.
So like, you want to surf in the town where you live, the waves aren't that bad. And you just think about this wave. So I did a soccer speech to that. My dad made me do it because he was my coach. He's like, you gotta do it.
So you came up with your own Shane Dorian,
Yeah.
In God's hands kind of soccer version of the speech,
Yeah,
and you
so
like
you want to play soccer in the town
almost like
where you
just-
live, the fields aren't that bad.
just like any given Sunday, Al Pacino fucking kind of moment.
Then you hear about this tournament in a far off place with a name you barely can't pronounce. It was West Palm Beach. And all you think about is playing it. How far will you go? What sacrifices will you make? How good do you really want to be?
Oh,
Damn,
man.
this is dude. I got
Goosebumps.
I know, I love it.
Shane delivered that so good. I mean, what a good thing to sponge off of right there. Dude.
Oh man, it's too good. It's too good. It
I
reminds
I don't like the movie anymore because Mickey always says he hates the sound of those damn jet skis. And I can't support that anymore.
Yamaha, come on, man.
Come on, not whenever you run out Yamaha. Jesus. Dude, that's good.
Man. Hey, while we're on the topic of some deep Florida kind of like history kind of shit, let's do a little fucking early trivia right now.
Yeah.
And it's out of I'm the host here, and it's out of Danny Hampson and Shane Bonifay. And these are only questions about Florida. And these are going to be 5. I have 5 questions. If you get it right, you get the card. Whoever has the most cards at the end. Questions about Florida, and this is closest to the pin in the sense that
Okay, I was going to wonder. Yeah.
Like for instance, when I asked the Stuckey Bros, I was like, "How long does the Interstate I-4 stretch from Daytona to Tampa?"
What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think?
Like in miles?
Yeah, in miles. Yep, good question. I didn't elaborate that.
106 miles.
That's pretty damn good guess. I think it was
guess.
132. I think is what it is, but I think you possibly probably.
I said
could've won it.
90, so you would have won.
So
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna need another beer for this. Loser.
oh, we have a lot on the line
cool.
today.
We have
We
something.
actually have a sick prize.
We have a sick prize,
this is
and
what's on-
loser has to smash a beer. So
Okay.
the winner gets a card,
Smash
and
a beer or
loser.
shotgun a beer? Smash it.
I mean, not like crush it, but like
Yeah, yeah.
drink it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting that up. All right. On the line for the win today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Home Depot gift card for $21.67. I've used a lot of this, but there is $21.67 left on this.
Yeah.
Which doesn't give you a whole lot at Home Depot,
But it gets you started.
it can get you started,
Yeah.
and get you motivated to do the next
Yeah.
project. And this whole segment is brought to you by Lowe's. Home Depot didn't give a shit for this. So yeah, thank you Lowe's for
giving
All right, we're gonna put this front row and see.
2167.
That's a bag of concrete, baby.
Yeah, it is.
I could take that.
That's a bag of concrete, baby.
I could take that 2167 and make some money for a week, dude.
Dude, I'd buy a little bag of some potting soil. I need some soil on a few little plants I got in the house. Maybe a little monstera, something like that.
Shane's a green thumb. Shane,
Quickcrete's
seems
only like $5. I get Quickcrete, a trowel, and a couple 2x4s, and I could just be foreman.
Yeah. You would be a foreman that if I showed up to the job and you're like, you got to work under this guy for the next like 2 weeks
What's
doing
his
this
name?
job, and I would be like, oh yes, I'm definitely cig hanging out of the mouth, Miller
name
Lite
is
in the
Danny
hand. What
Hampson.
we're gonna do is we're gonna do this. We're gonna set this up. I'd be like, I'm following you to the very end, Captain Dan.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I would just tell the boys we got 2167. We're gonna make a couple planter boxes. And
We're going to get on the Yamahas. We're going to drive around. We're going to scope some spots to lay some concrete.
this is enough for us to make a couple planters, and we'll get back under that bridge.
And we'll get back into that bed. We gotta go catch dinner.
All right, guys, you ready?
Yeah,
How
let's
you
go.
feeling?
I'm feeling pretty
I feel
good.
like Shane, after like Danny just dropped the knowledge he did in the first part of this
I'm
episode,
terrified, but I
you
feel
should
like
be kind of a little.
I kind of
terrified.
put some pressure on myself.
yeah.
so.
But and that's kind of the worst is like to try to defend off. Like you don't want to be a 5-shot lead in a golf tournament coming into Sunday.
No.
You wanna be the underdog.
Yeah. I'm under prices right this bitch too.
All right, well here we go.
All right.
You ready? Ready, guys?
Yeah.
All right,
Do,
we're
does
gonna
anybody
alternate.
go? Does anybody?
Yeah,
oh,
we're gonna alternate. We're gonna alternate.
Yeah.
You want to Rochambeau? Winner goes. Guesses second.
No, let the guests go.
I like
sure?
it.
Oh,
Wait,
thank
so
you.
let the guess.
Let the guests go.
All right, fair enough. Let the boy watch. All right, here we go. All right, you ready, Danny?
Yes, sir.
Closest to pin. Who gets closest to the correct answer here? How much coastline does the state of Florida have in miles?
I know the coastline itself
Shane's-
is bigger than like the whole coastline of California doubled.
Interesting.
I want to say it's 1,200 miles.
Can't say anything about the guess. I don't want to give Shane any clues.
I think it's way more. I think
Shane
it's
thinks
way
way
more.
more.
I'll go 1,500 miles.
1,500 miles. And your guess was what? Danny?
1,200.
1,200 miles. Ladies and gentlemen, 1,350. Ladies and gentlemen, Danny definitely takes that down.
Oh,
1,200 by yeah.
no, that's a tie.
No, you got it by 12. You said 1,250?
Yeah, you're
I
150
said
off.
You're
Shane's
150
250.
off. I'm 250
Oh,
off.
I thought I said 1,200.
You say 1,200 or 1,250?
1,200,
I mean-
1,350. You still got it by
What do you think you
150.
said?
I thought I said. I'm pretty sure I said 1,200.
I think you said 1,200.
That might be an
I think
exact
that's a
tie. We might be split in 21.
All right. Well, if we end up tying,
If we tie, we gotta
end up
go
tying,
tonight.
I actually have a question that we're gonna figure out.
I can't believe we
we're gonna
exactly tied that. Oh,
Damn,
yeah.
we've never really had a tie.
That's
on-
hard
on-
tie. I don't
on-
even know
on
how I
trivia.
went with 15 instead of like 4. I could have
couple-
just
a
like
couple
prices
Florida
righted
guys.
them and just gone a little above, but
No, don't press
I
this
thought
right.
it
That
was
shit
like-
pisses me off.
no, I thought it was more closer to the 18 to 2000. So I was like, I'll go in between. But all right, fair enough. Let's go.
All right.
My turn now.
Damn. Okay. I love that Shane gets a guess first on this one because
It's gonna be so.
this
off.
one I'm gonna warn you, Shane. This one's a little favorite toward Danny Hampson on this one.
I believe that.
All right, here we go. Shane, how many bridges were used to connect the Florida Keys? How many bridges were used to connect all them keys all the way
I'm
down?
gonna say
feel like
11.
11.
I don't know.
You clearly don't know. All right, interesting. What are you going to take that? You don't get to change your answer by my response.
I think it's like 41, maybe.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, 42 keys. Danny Hampson. Damn.
That was unfair.
That was a good one. I didn't really know. I mean, I knew there was a lot of keys, but I
You
didn't know
clearly
that it
get
was
this card.
41.
Only one off. Would you expect anything less from the, the keys man himself?
Yeah, I mean, even if I went crazy high, on
It's almost
what
like I need a
was-
Polk County question
don't
for you
know.
now, Shane.
I know that was unfair.
Which I don't.
That was very
It was
unfair.
unfair. And when you
Super unfair.
started dropping your like grandpa like laid the poles and shit, I was like, I was like, dude, he's gonna fucking knock this fucking
Yeah, that
bridge
was-
question out of the park, and he did, only off by one.
All right.
All right, Danny, you're back. Let me see what questions we're gonna. All right, let's try this one. Danny Hampson, question to you. It was hunted for decades, the Florida alligator. And because of that, they put it on the endangered species list. What year was the American alligator removed from the endangered species list?
Removed.
What year was the American alligator removed from the endangered species list?
I think it was pretty recent. I know it's still like a worry animal or whatever. I kill a lot of alligators when we get the tags.
Allegedly.
No, when we get the
Yeah,
tags.
you get
we do.
Not allegedly. He does.
He
kill
gets
a lot.
attacked, fucking allegedly.
He kills.
I want to say like 2008.
Interesting guess.
I'm gonna go 2003.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you were way off. It was 1987.
What?
Shane
But I'm closer.
Shane is closer. Shane does get this card.
87 is
I
crazy.
think that
That
you
is
really think it was that
crazy.
recent to where they took him off?
I thought it was.
was.
I thought it was too. I think I remembered hearing it and being like, yeah, that makes sense because there's a shitload of gators around.
Well,
like,
yeah, and I mean, people have been getting tags for so long. I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right.
It just seems
Tag
crazy to get a tag to kill an endangered animal.
in.
Oh, I guess
that's why they did tags
it.
back
I guess I don't know. That's just wild.
I love the idea that they were like, hey, this is an endangered animal. And then within a few years, they're like, oh shit, it's gotten out of control. Let's start killing
No,
this
what
thing.
I think it was is I think they in the 1900s and like
Yeah.
up to like the 50s and stuff. I think the 60s. I think they just hunt like
Yeah,
they
they
were
were-
everywhere and like people just like killed the shit out of them.
Yeah.
as they're like settling and kind of building this kind of like
For sure.
subdivisions and.
But then
But then they put it on the endangered species list, and then eventually they're like, "All right, there's enough of these
Yeah,
motherfuckers
there's
around.
enough.
We've lost 3 poodles this week."
There's a lot of them. There's still a lot of them.
there's still a shitload. Yeah.
All right, so who gets the next? Who gets the next guest?
I go now.
Or guess? Yeah.
Yep.
Shane's up. So 1-1 right now. 2 cards left. Who's going to get this? Shane's guess.
2167 on the line. And you got a shotgun of beer.
Oh yeah, the loser has a shotgun of beer, and the winner gets the $20 21.67 gift card from Home Depot. Shane, you ready?
I'm so ready.
How many counties are there in this state of Florida? Pretty big state.
I'm going to say
How many counties?
87.
Interesting guess. What is
I'm gonna
Danny
say
Hampson going to pick? How many counties are in the state of Florida?
There's not 87, I don't think. I think there's like maybe 40.
Interesting.
He's trying to do the math to figure out.
Doing a little Polk County math over here. And ladies and gentlemen, 67 counties in the state of Florida. Shane, I believe, takes this one.
I think.
No, it's not over yet.
Yeah, no, it's not over yet.
Wait,
but
there is how many?
But we handshake every question.
There's
It's-
87.
I didn't
There's
know y'all-
87.
No, 67 counties
Oh,
in the state of
67.
Florida.
And I
I
said
said-
40.
No, you said
I said
40. You said 80.
7.
No, I don't think you said 87. You
Is
said
that 83 or
83.
84? Yeah.
You said 83. So that's why I was doing the math in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, you got
you
it.
win by a
Yeah.
little bit.
Ooh.
My math checks out. Polk County school system. Big shout out, dude. Y'all are the best.
Yo.
All right, you need this last one.
That's kind of crazy, man, if you think about it. Because I was just thinking about South Florida, and there's not that many counties down there.
Yeah.
You know, there's like, Dade County.
I thought there
I
might be.
think
I thought
counties
there
got
might be
bigger
like,
as they went further south. I think in the beginning they kind of
Yeah.
like kept them tight.
See, I was
Maybe-
thinking that there might just be like a lot of little random ones in the mix, and not just like.
Yeah, dude, because like
Blocked
Palm Beach
off.
County is like huge and goes all
Palm
the way to
Beach-
Okeechobee.
Palm
It's the
Beach
biggest
County
one.
is the biggest one. Yeah. I always thought Polk County was. That's what they told us in school, but I just realized people lie about Polk County stats just to make Polk County number one, which is why we are number one actually, because we were fed a bunch of lies.
I was so
Polk County is the only county that doesn't matter which city you're from in Polk County.
In
You
Florida.
say you're from Polk County.
Polk
You don't.
County.
It doesn't matter if you're from Lakeland or Lake Alfred or Winter Haven. When people ask you where you're from, you say Polk County.
That's a very good point, Shane. Like anywhere else in Florida,
You say the
if
city.
you live there, if they go, where are you from? You'll say Lake Worth Beach.
Yep.
Yeah, like, and if you're from Polk County, you'll say, where are you from? You'll say, I'm from Polk County. And then you say Lake Alfred.
Polk,
Then you
yeah.
say Winter Haven, Arbordale,
Yeah.
Lake
No,
Alfred,
it's-
Bartow.
I was so
It's a very
excited when
proud
I
county.
It's a very proud county, almost like what Texas has with as a state. Polk County has like as
Yeah.
Florida.
And it's almost very similar in the sense that it's nothing to be proud of.
No, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing to
Oh.
be proud of. But
Well, I
they're
was
very-
just about
I mean,
to say that
like,
when I saw that liquor store that was in the old Pointless thing,
Drive- yeah,
and I
Driver's
sent, I
Castle.
sent you guys those pictures of it. I was
That's something to be.
very proud.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was like, I can't. I was like, I never thought I would ever, see this.
Yeah, but there's not really any like things.
You're right, dude. That was.
I mean, that
amazing.
is something.
Shout
to be
out Beverage Castle,
Beverage
Lake Alfred, too.
Castle.
That was the best ad ever, dude.
Yeah, that was really good. Beverage Castle was pretty tits.
All right, we have one more question left. Only way that we can get to this secret question that I don't know the answer. I'm gonna Google it in a second if Danny ties it up, but he has to tie it up right now. Danny, who guessed first on the last one? You did.
I
believe.
did, yeah.
So Danny, you're up first. Guessing first. Here we go. Last question. Can Danny tie it up for the Home Depot 2167 gift card and make Shane shotgun beer? All right, last question. What is the current population of Florida? You used to be a home real estate agent. You kind of maybe saw some analytics on this.
So I'm out of the biz. 36 million.
36 million is the guess from
36
Danny Hampson.
million? Whoa. I wouldn't have guessed that high.
Really?
I don't know why, but I don't.
Is his guess going to throw you off a little bit?
It threw me off way. I'm going to say 15 million.
15 million.
I don't know. I've
15
never
million.
counted people.
And what did you say?
36.
15 million, 36 million. Ladies and gentlemen, the answer is 23.3 million. So let's do some quick
I'm
math.
8 million off. I'm 8.3
I think Shane-
million
Yeah,
off.
Shane got that.
Shane gets it. Ladies and gentlemen.
Boom! Good
Damn,
game. Good game,
Shane.
Dan. Good game.
Congratulations,
Good game.
man.
Good game.
Shane gets the last card and takes on the trivia
And-
thing.
and,
And the
and,
Home Depot.
And a bag of
gift card.
concrete.
Hey, can we go there tonight? You give me a chalk line?
Yeah, yeah, I'll get you chocolate.
Oh, man,
that's good.
That was really fun, dude. Yeah, thank you, Lowe's, for donating the Home Depot gift card. We really appreciate it. And Danny will have to shotgun a beer. We're gonna take a little break, make him shotgun a beer, and then we're gonna get right.
I'll shotgun with you too.
Oh, what a nice
I've never tried that. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. So
What, you've only beer bonged out of Aaron Reed's beer bongs? Be right back.
And we're back.
Yep, back with Danny Hampson. You were just checking out the camera on the shelf and the old Cypress Gardens old ski right there.
yeah, champions on the water, baby.
Champions on the water.
Is that what they said? Is that what
It
they
was
said?
Champions on the Water. And
Oh, that's what I forgot. I always wanted to bring my ring.
Stars on the water. was-
Stars on the Water.
Stars
Champions
on the
in
water. Stars on the water.
Champions in the Sky or something like that.
Yeah,
It-
Stars on
it's-
the Water, Champions in the Sky. It's the tournament of champions. It's the Masters. Everyone.
Yeah.
I probably botched that. But
Yeah, no,
that's
but
it.
the speech that they would
You
always
won?
give.
Did you get you won Masters? Did you get a ring, Danny? Up there?
I did, and I was
Hell yeah,
I was
dude.
listening. You guys were talking about Masters with somebody on one of these previous ones.
I think we were talking about
Shane,
Mossy.
you
Mossy
were
and the
you were
boys
trying to
about
get the guys to jump off the
the
pavilion.
pavilion.
Yeah, I want the kids to be able to jump off the pavilion. I, think
I
that's
actually
a
never
good thing.
jumped the pavilion,
It's a rite of passage.
but anyways, I got my Masters ring refit for my pinky.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's pretty sick. You ever bust it
Yeah.
out?
Oh, I wear it all the time.
You
yeah.
throw it out when you take a sip of beer and you throw that pinky out super hard.
I've always
I'm from
wanted.
South Florida. Dude.
I've always wanted
Yeah, you
to
got a
start
chain.
I've always wanted to start a group chat with only Masters winners. That during Masters every year we take pictures of ourselves wearing the rings and send it into the chat, and then every year we bring in one new person because somebody won.
That's kind of sick.
Yeah, and it would just be like, you guys watching Masters, and it's just pictures.
I don't know
of
if I can
everybody.
find my ring. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I know I still got mine.
BT used to tie his into his dreads.
Yeah,
That's I love BT, but disrespectful.
yeah, disrespectful to the ring.
I mean, if you had dreads, you know how much you love your dreads. I think it's not as maybe from afar. If you
Yeah,
have
you're
dreads,
right,
like you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know how hard it is to cut dreads. It's
No,
like it's really hard.
Yeah,
Like, I've had a lot of haircuts, and but like when
you know
when
BT
cut
cut
your-
his.
BT cut his.
I
dreads.
know.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy actually. Seeing him. I just saw the Instagram or whatever, but he looks like he did like 20 something years
I
ago when he
know.
was like
He
going
looks
to
good.
Lynn College
He
or
looks
whatever.
good.
Dude.
Me and Cole were giving him a lot of shit while we were on tour because he films the tour with us. We go and he flies drone, and me and Cole are usually there, and we always are just giving him shit. We're like, just cut the things, cut them, and he's like, I'll do it on my own. Like,
It's hard. He's right. You can't.
Yeah,
You're
you
not.
can't
You're
do
not
it.
doing it because anyone else is telling you to do it.
especially
Like,
after he had it for like 15, 20 years.
Oh
And
my
like,
God,
I mean,
he had it
was-
forever.
yeah, he had them for a while. I only had my dreads. I had dreads down to like my mid back, and when I cut them, it was because I had the knee infection, kind of like surgery
Yeah.
and stuff, and I was like bedridden for 6 months, and I was just like laying on my dreads, and I was just like I had to cut them just to like
move.
just to feel something like kind of like new and kind of like a new direction. But that's what, and even for me, it was like when I cut them, it was like kind of emotional. Like that's what I said. Like when you
Yeah.
cut your dreads, I can only imagine when you had them for a very long time how that feels.
Dude,
Yeah.
I remember like that was the first year I was like traveling and stuff. It was 2003, and that was like, or maybe it was 2004. And you had the dreads, and you were wearing the same board shorts everywhere.
Yes, the classic.
And like I've always just like, I mean, like just doing this, I'm so grateful. Like I'm
Oh,
so
dude.
corny, but like, dude, as a little kid, like I would trip. I mean, I told everybody I was coming up.
Hey,
You know what I mean? But like I remember when-
the feeling is mutual. Having you up here in the studio and doing this with you when Parks hit me up a few days ago or a week ago and was like, Danny's coming up, I was ecstatic. I was like, dude,
thank
this
you.
is going to be a good one. You're one of my favorite people to talk to, just because I never know what you're going to say or how you're going to say it, and it's
you are truly one of a kind, cut from a different cloth, dude. And like honestly, like you're I don't want to call you a wakeboarder. or wake skater, but you're a wakeboarder's wakeboarder, wake skater's wake. Like you are.
Oh, I'm an
you're
enthusiast,
like
yeah.
you're on trips. You're the most genuine and just fucking out of fucking right field fucking kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's the best, dude.
You never cease to amaze me,
Uh,
even
let you-
after
let-
all these years.
Yeah, Lecce actually has a question for you, kind of based on the same thing. He goes, you're a pretty eccentric human who likes to be on the fringe of things. Where did you draw your inspiration from?
oh man,
You know, it's kind of a
that's kind of a deep.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
kinda- it's
we
kinda-
just came in from a break, and you're hitting them with
Yeah,
the.
well,
no, but it's I don't
I
know,
mean,
like, like,
honestly, from like, and I mean, it like, honestly, guys like Letchworth and Aaron and Thomas and all those dudes I was around, like like kind of off the rip, like when I was a kid, like they definitely were very eccentric.
Yeah.
No, their own rights.
Coming into the sport and having your idols and getting to hang around Thomas and Aaron Reed would just it could mold you into just such a the one of a kind that you are, because they are so.
We just had Byerly on, and we were just talking about that. And I was like, dude, when we were like younger, when we were like Shane and I were 12 and like 10, we were like, he was like Wake God, and he became one of our like really good friends. Like, and you fucking probably experienced the same thing with like Reed and Thomas and stuff. Like, what was that?
I mean, everybody. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, I became a pro wake skater and obviously really good at wake skating. But before that, I was like super into wakeboarding as well. And I said, like I memorized all that stuff. Like me and my friends would just wait. Like for Christmas, we get all the like the bump. What was it called? Bump films.
Yeah,
like
bump
Mark
films,
Bain.
Mark Bain. Yeah.
Eric Jeffco.
Yeah.
And eventually, I ended up working with this guy.
Yeah.
But like, and then obviously Ron signing Lance's stuff, and then the wide away. Like, I mean. Like I was a strange kid, and like I just would watch all that stuff all the time. So I was like obsessed with everybody so much. So like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like me and my friends still like pinch ourselves all the time. Like even when me and Kyle, we were talking about the last time we saw each other. Like me and Kyle left Brian's party. He was like half asleep. We had to like smack him around to wake him up. But we're like, I was like, dude, that was sick. He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. And we're like, 34, 35 years old. Like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Party with Shane and Parks, the boy, like, I don't know. We never take it for granted, like how excited we are about all of it. And I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe that's why I'm eccentric. I think I'm eccentric anyways, from where I grew up and my family history. And like, I mean, I think I was just crazy from...
I mean, your dad's fucking wild as shit, dude. Like, if we really boil the water down and see what's left in the pot, like, dude, your dad, I remember, is it Aaron Reed or whoever went, they took some people out fishing, and did someone have to eat like,
yeah.
What was the story? Someone had to eat a fish heart, like, while it's baiting? Like, look.
Anytime someone catches a tuna for the first time, my dad makes him eat the heart.
Holy shit.
And then my dad's he's the best. He's a wild man, but he's also just the best dad. And then but my grandparents, my grandmothers were very amazing. My grandma's Anne is still alive. She's the most wonderful lady. She loves both you guys. She's followed you guys, but
tell your grandma I said what's up. What do you grandma?
But no, the men and the family are just, I mean, you think, you want to talk about off the reservation, and that's where
that's what I'm saying.
That's where some of the proclivities come from.
You come from a different cloth, dude.
Well, I mean, it's something to say. Like people that live in the Keys full time and just aren't visiting are a different breed. Like it's a different world. Like I don't know. It's just a crazy thing. Even when you're just driving through all
so
of
much
it,
tighter. It makes you really appreciate your neighbors so much more. You rely on them, and I bet this sense of like
it's small town syndrome, but you're also beach life where you're like out on the boats all the time with the ocean. You're like doing that. So it's like it's such a weird juxtapose of not just a small town in the middle of nowhere. It's a small town on like the dopest little spot.
I think my grandpas may have been the way they were anywhere, though.
Yeah, yeah, true.
We can't really talk. I mean, we can't talk
it's a
about
fabric, dude. You
we
can't.
can't. I mean, I wish I could share the stories about my one grandpa on here, but I can't.
So like you said, so you are a wakeboard. I mean, you wakeboard, but like, what made you? Like you were wakeboarding as a young age, but what made you kind of like want to switch? Like there had to be something that kind of like triggered in your head to like what did you always love skateboarding? And when and you kind of were just like evolved into.
Yeah. So what's crazy about like I will say this one thing about like where I grew up is like, we didn't have the opportunity to like see anything else out of that bubble back then. There's like no internet or anything, so. We were all skateboarding, and at the same time we were rollerblading too. Like we just didn't.
Oh, respect.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
K2 fatties, baby.
Oh, dude, had them.
Soul Grind, Unity,
Yeah.
you know what's up. Colin will tell you, dude. Graffiti City Marathon. Colin was the king.
Yeah, Colin could shred.
Dude, he wanted everyone to see him skate and then hit the rollerblades.
Was Colin really that good on rollerblades?
Colin could rollerblade. For
Colin's
sure.
very good at he's good at everything.
I'm actually thinking about getting a new pair.
I was just saying that to Cassie, my girlfriend, the other day. I was like,
Yeah.
I kind of want to have rollerblades. But anyways,
I hate to reel it back, dude. That was fucking good though, bro.
anyways, but like we were always skating a bunch and stuff. And then that was like right before the wakeboarding thing. And then we got into wakeboarding. And I remember like the first day we all got up, it was like still my best friends, like me, Kyle, Topher, my friend Thomas, like our whole crew, Lee Cash, like we were all together. And like, so we figured out the wakeboarding thing. And then it was like really rough one day. My friend Topher lived on the ocean side and he had like a little Boston Whaler, like a 14-foot Boston Whaler or something. And it was like so rough. It was like, you can't ride out there. It's just, but we thought like wake skating, you could ride in rough water. So we just, we took like one of the, I mean, this is maybe 2 weeks after we had gotten up and we just put wax on it and we're like athletic sandals.
Yeah.
And I remember like the first day I was able to like jump off and do the body varial. And I was like, oh,
Body varials day one.
I'm like, bro.
Put me on tour, dude. What's that?
Send this sponsor me tape to Tom.
I mean, that was
So
a
y'all
long time ago.
was that y'all's just like y'all do this every day after school? You would go to like this little wake because I remember going to like y'all's like little cut in the Keys and like seeing y'all. We rode out there like one of the trips back in the day, and you were like, yeah, dude, this is like literally where we came. You built flat bars. That's like
Oh
where
yeah,
you
you
just,
saw
like,
all
you
the
like
rails,
learned the whole
rail
cut. Yeah,
park and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, back like we built a whole rail park back in the day. Like, and that was like right when the projects was like kind of just having the rail parks and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
That's so sick.
it got to the point where we had like, we were just copying, your guys' stuff, but we had like these super steep A-frames and all this really
Everything.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
Copying our shit in the sense that the dimensions were like way off and it was way too
Well, no,
steep,
just
probably.
like, like kind of like the pointless thing where it's just like, oh,
Wait,
like,
we didn't
that's
really
just
know.
Oh, this
Who
was like
really- who
gray
knew?
PVC pipe, and like we'll just kind of figure out.
From what I saw, it looked a lot better in our shit.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we just kind of just like got into it. And then once we were really into it, I guess when we first were really into it, actually before that rail park, we were building floating rails and ramps. And we'd steal everything from this construction site by my mom and dad's house.
Yeah, we stole a bunch of stuff from the construction.
Because I
sites.
grew up across the canal from where my parents' house is now. And it was like a much smaller house. And then eventually my dad bought the land across from that house. And it was just all woods over there. We built my house, and then all these other houses started getting built on that street. So we had like unlimited supply of styrofoam.
2x4s, yeah.
And styrofoam because they're building the docks. And then everything else. So we were just.
Right. So you had access
sick.
to all this.
Yeah, so we were building like these ramps and all this stuff. And actually, my mom wrote a letter to Wakeboard Magazine with me hitting one of the ramps on a mini squirt.
Oh, nice.
Got
That was
published.
it was a good wake skate.
No, I mean I was wakeboarding. dude.
Okay.
I would actually make him go like 32 miles an hour and I'd like rip at it too. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I was like, it seems like if I cut,
That's probably why
I'd
you.
go
That's probably
high
why you
fast.
got like in the rest of your career. You kind of like you were like off the wake. You would actually take your like shit to the flats. Like
I guess it's just like I mean, just studying tension
Studying tension.
nonstop,
That's
load and release,
Yeah.
and, different spectra.
Yeah, that sweet silent pool.
Yeah, I mean, just stressing over the different fibers of different spectras.
what? Spectrum.
But no, I mean,
The
to get through it all, and then like by the time I was 13, like we were still skateboarding all the time too. So we couldn't really go out on the boat by ourselves too much. Only my friend Topher's boat. But then eventually, I got a 16-foot Sea Ray that my dad got me with a 120 force. Bought it for $500. Like it was a gnarly little boat, but it was sick.
Damn, that was your first little chariot.
Yeah, and then like I was able to use that by myself. So then we started really getting into it. So by the time I was like 13, I actually went to the World Wakeboard Center.
Oh, up here in Claremont.
Yeah, in Groveland, the Hanson's place.
Damn.
Nice. Yeah.
And then I actually rode a real wake skate for the first time. I rode the Lecce. There used to be this board called the Lecce. It was like when Cassette first came out. And it was like 46 or 47 inches long.
Was it Wakeboard Center or Wakeboard Camp with Reed and stuff?
Yeah, the wakeboard camp. But Wait, World Wakeboard Center was Reed.
Yeah,
so I went there
that
first.
was you went there first.
So I
and
went
that
to
was Danny
Reed's.
Hampson and Groveland.
Yeah. And I met Reed, I met Trevor. And then that was the first time I rode that board, and like I was jumping the wake and doing all this stuff, and they're like, "Wow, you're good at it." But I was like, I don't know. I want to focus on my toe side back roll.
Good thing you dropped that eventually.
I mean, we were like so focused, like because we're coming from the Keys and we're riding behind 16-foot and 14-foot outboard boats, so it's like
These wakes must have seemed monstrous too.
oh my gosh, it was terrifying, dude. And back then, like Lake Buena Vista and stuff had tons of alligators, and we'd never seen alligators because it was me and all my friends from the Keys went at the same time.
Right.
We were almost the whole thing, and but anyway, so I rode that with the Hansons. They're great, and then
Is that when? So you met Reed? That was the first time you met Reed.
Reed Hanson, yeah, little guy.
Oh, little Reed, yeah. So not Aaron.
No,
Reed,
not Aaron.
Yeah,
no, that was the next year.
That was the next year at the wakeboard camp. So the wakeboard center was the
So the next year, even though we ran those little wakes, we were all pretty good. Like chromobes, tootsies. Like we could all do a lot of tricks.
Oh, you did Tootsie?
Fuck Tootsie.
Fuck yeah.
Come on, man. You're not getting Tootsie, dude.
Give me a little cheers on that one. Respect.
My friend Kyle was really good, but I was really good at wake skating by that point because I think I had taken the mini squirt and I put grip tape on it. And actually, before I think I went to that, I had actually gotten the first 41 concave that Thomas made. Or no, it was 41 flat deck. I had never ridden a concave. But I was I could do like shove-its and all sorts of stuff. And then I went there and I was wakeboarding and Aaron was on the boat. And then everyone's like, oh, he's good at wake skating. And Aaron's like, no one even knew who Aaron was, but we did because he had like this instructional. It was his first picture in a magazine. And like, that's how obsessed we were with
That's
it.
it.
I was like, oh,
So you could, from that instructional, you knew exactly who.
yeah, and then so I knew I was gonna ride for him, and I rode good. And then
young Dan showed the fuck up, huh? When the pressure was there.
Not really. I mean, I don't know. And then later that night, like Aaron came and knocked on my cabin door, and rest is history.
Damn.
I'm just kidding.
That's so cool. No, but
And here we are. Yeah,
But it
pretty
is.
much.
He didn't really come down at night and knock on my cabin door.
No.
I do remember though. This is a funny story about Aaron. I think he was only 20 then, and like he was annoyed a little bit by us, even though he really liked me. But he was going out for a date one night, and he came to the camp to eat dinner before. He was wearing like this shiny button-up shirt, and I'll never forget.
Like way too glossy. He's got to like.
But I mean, this is like
He would never wear this again. Probably because of this conversation.
I mean, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going on a date. You guys don't, whatever." But we were all like, "Oh, you look cool." But yeah, even
nice shirt,
Y'all
dude.
didn't roast him a little bit.
No, even like 6 months later, he was like all cool, wearing DVS. Cool again.
I love that. We're gonna have to ask him about the shiny shirt he was wearing.
No, he's the best. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I would never have done anything with any of it. Like he, literally, he just saw something in me and was nice enough to.
Did he kind of bring you to the cassette table with Thomas? Kind of like,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
like, he was like, hey, this little motherfucker is like.
He
the
did
real deal.
everything, man. He was nice enough. I was just a camper, and he gave me his number, and then we'd talk, and he told me to send me a sponsor me video. So when I went home, I just started like, I'd gotten that concave, and then, I was riding really good. At that point in time, I got,
What board were you riding? Then?
I had just gotten a Hydrodyne too, because my cousin in Key West married this guy, Steve Orpeza, a Hydrodyne, like an old, like really old Hydrodyne. So we got that, and we had like a good, it was like a much
that's
different
a bigger weight than your.
Well, it was just like more,
stiff
consistent and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. And my little brother Mikey like filmed the sponsor me thing for me with my friends, and
And y'all chopped it up on your own, like and edited the.
oh, back then, yeah, we would make our own videos, but we didn't have any like stuff. But we'd have the two little TVs, so that you'd plug the camera into
Oh, I know.
one TV, and then you'd like have the record thing on the other, and then you'd time it with the music where you'd press it, and then you'd have to press that, like you'd time the second and a half later or whatever, and you'd have them all hooked up.
Damn,
and that's how you would edit it.
That's the OG way of fucking chopping it
That's
up.
good.
There,
That is
damn,
good.
that's crazy. And it's wild how far we come.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now you just like press a button after you film something on your GoPro and it's like,
Damn, so you made this pitch video and the boys and Thomas saw it and then you
I wrote him a letter and sent him the video and then like he called me back right away and he invited me to Surf Expo.
You wrote him a letter.
Yeah.
And you handwritten letter, folded it up and sent it in the mail, dude. That's so awesome.
I sent it to Aaron and then Aaron gave it to Thomas and then he invited me to Surf Expo. And luckily, like, we were able to get passes through someone else in the Keys. So me and my best friend Kyle went there with my mom. And I was like, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was like wearing a Sublime t-shirt like you could buy from PAX.
Got to.
And like those old gross etnies with like the
maybe even some airwalks or something like that.
I just look so dumb. And me and Kyle were like so nervous. Like, I didn't want to talk to anyone at Liquid Force booth. Because that's where, Cassette was at the time. So, like, we just hung out and, like, played video games. There's, like, a little video game thing right there.
Yeah.
So
Just to kill time.
I could just watch. Yeah, and we watched for, like, a day and a half. Until Thomas was finally around, like, on Sunday. Like, he's Thomas. Who knows what he's doing?
And at Surf Expo, eventually Thomas is going to be, like, kind of, you're like, this is my time.
And then I just went up. I'm like, hey, I'm Danny. He's like, and he gave me actually a used board. But I was like, yeah.
On spot.
Like,
and you walked out of there. How good did that feel walking out of that AC to that heat and then carrying a...
Give me that ticket. Or whatever. The sticker they had to put on.
Yeah. To let you know that you didn't steal it.
And then,
that's cool.
And then I got invited up like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks later. And my mom drove me up. And then I rode with Thomas, Aaron, Chase, Staker. It was all behind Old Blue. Chase's old.
Yeah. Chase's old. No, too. Yeah.
So.
And that was the start of is that when you started filming for Sfumato?
I think they were filming me then. But I mean, I didn't ride. I mean, whatever. I got, I was like 14. And then the next like 4 months, I got so much better. I don't know. I just got lucky.
I love that you got your like introduction and the people that brought you in were Thomas and like Chase and Reed. Like this group of guys were guys that I also were like, those are the coolest guys in the sport. Like I love, you know what I mean? I was like, loved that whole new crew, that all those guys, Leatherman, like all of them. And you got brought in by them. Like you didn't have to like establish yourself. You didn't have to like prove yourself worthy to them. You were brought in by them.
Well, I kind of cheated. Cool. It was almost like a cheat sheet.
It is
like Staker had like that little column, or he had the whole little back of Alliance.
Yeah.
And I like memorized all that, and I memorized like almost all of Tony's articles and stuff.
You just verbatim spit that.
So I mean, I just like knew what they liked.
Yeah. No, that is good.
I mean, Thomas was like an enigma, but me and Aaron have always been like. I mean, Aaron really just, he was. He was selfless and doing all that stuff for me. So
yeah, man,
it's cool how he took you under his wing and like really kind of like
he didn't have
made
to
sure like it was like, the cassette crew was like it was a hard like.
Yeah, that was like hard to
it was pretty. It was hard to fucking get in. Like it wasn't just like you were signing Liquid Force or like or Hyperlight or any. Like it was just like that was a. It was definitely a whole different like material to try to get crew together.
Yeah, it's so funny to look back on now because like it seems silly almost, but like at the time, like it was like a clique or at least really at least in like our. And I feel like our bubble was bigger back then. I don't know, like it was like a.
I mean, there was such a crowd around it though. Like, I mean, not like a bunch of people involved, but like all eyes were on you guys. Like, especially that Sfumato and like things.
Yeah.
Shane, play the one that I airdropped you earlier. This is a clip from your Tide and Time thing, but it kind of like this is like right as like you got onto the cassette team and like I think you were about 15 years old and they kind of like took you.
Yeah, this is in Miami. Like this was my second trip in Miami actually. But yeah,
is there no audio, Shane?
No, we don't have that. I'll lay it in.
Yeah, like I was so nervous that first day.
Like, look at you there. Like
I wasn't as nervous in these days. But the first day I actually filmed with him, I turned 15 that day.
Yeah, that you said that in the Tide and Times thing. That it was just such a cool story and all of this.
Look at that guy.
Look at
Look at that,
Indeed,
look at
dude.
that monster sticker.
But yeah.
It looked like the trips you went on.
Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, baby.
Like, yeah.
But it was such an era of wakeboarding, the whole cassette thing and this Sumato video, and it's just it was wild.
What did you? I like the line that you say in this. You like you almost refer to Thomas as like he was almost like the Andy Warhol of
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. I mean, he just like had all these crazy ideas. I mean, all these like pro skater guys around it. I think that really like to go back to the question before, like, you know, I think that gave me a lot more depth to my personality. Because I mean, I didn't like. Obviously, I'd always be cool, but I was in the Keys where like I didn't have exposure to.
Yeah.
You know, anything at that time. So it really was like eye opening, you know, just
it's almost
every
like
time.
your character almost. I mean, think about like how much you transition like as like someone who's just like just going through like from 13 to like 15, 16, and then all of a sudden Thomas Horrell, Aaron Reed are your chaperones, and like and you're with like Miles and Jim and like bro, like that's to go from like 15 to like 20 and the rest of your career, like that's why you're.
And then like the next summer, awesome. I'm like I'm staying at Chase's, and like I have the keys to his boat, the classic sport nautique boat, and like it was just crazy, like staying at the condo, and I don't know, it was just like a dream come true. So it was amazing. I mean, all those guys were so nice to me too. I mean, looking back, I mean maybe they're maybe too nice and like that they let me get away with a lot of stuff. But
I can't think of better chaperones to have. Like I turned out okay, and I had Zane Schwenk as my chaperone. So I think like I think we're par for the course.
I mean I agree. That's why we have. I always said we have the same aggressive body types.
Well, while we're talking on this kind of topic, we actually have. Aaron Reed sent in audio. I wouldn't call it a question or anything, but he just wanted to say a little something to you while we're on the podcast right now. So, and it's around that same kind of like time frame. So, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Reed tuning in.
Dan Hampson has been my best friend for more than half my life now. We've been through the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, but we've always stuck it out. I've lived in 3 different states. And even though I left Florida, which Dan will never do, he's always stuck by my side and always been my best friend. Man, some great memories. We've traveled the world. We've gotten into some crazy shit. We have done some really fun and weird shit together, that's for sure. Back in the early days of Instagram, I remember we had this sense of pride over having like 5,000 followers or some stupid shit like that. And I remember we were on a road trip together for like 2 weeks, and every day we would wake up and Dan would be getting more followers and inching closer to the number of followers that I had. And I remember I would always wake up before Dan, and I woke up one morning and I saw that he passed me in followers. So I just went ahead and deleted my Instagram account. And Dan woke up. He's like, "Something's wrong, Reed. I can't find where we're at on Instagram. I can't figure out what's going on." And I was like, "Yeah, I deleted it. I don't really give a shit about that anymore." And he got so mad at me. He was so pissed. And to my own detriment, because later I found out that sponsors wanted you to have a certain number of Instagram followers, and I totally screwed myself on that whole thing and probably ruined my career, but all in fun. It was all good, but lots of great memories with Dan, lots of great travel, lots of great times. I love that guy. I love you, Dan. Have fun on the podcast, man.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah,
was
man.
really good.
Yo,
I talked to him on the way. I talked to him on the way here because I took like a crazy way to get to the hotel, so I got off early and then came up 27. So I called him. I'm like, "Dude,
you chat with him much?"
All the time, a couple times a week. Like I helped him move to Colorado. I flew to Texas and drove him out there. He's coming. The whole family's coming like November 8th or something.
Oh.
Yeah, they're real tight. They're gonna stay at my mom and dad's. We'll all be together.
That'd be fun. That'd be sick.
Aaron's he's a beast now, man.
I know I see it. Like what he's like. Is he just run? Or he's riding bikes, right?
Dude, for his 40th birthday, he came. We celebrated together. So he came. No, yeah, it was his 40th. Yeah, he came to the Keys and he ran 40 miles.
Jesus.
Dude, it was insane. And they probably drank 40 beers.
12 before 12, baby.
He's not even like drinking anymore. He wasn't even drinking that much back then, but it was just like, he's like this freak athlete that I didn't even realize. Yeah, he's killing him.
He's the type of guy that whatever he sets his mind to, as long as he stays focused, he can achieve it.
Oh my
gosh,
gosh,
he will do it. He's a beast. He can make himself do anything that he wants. And like Park said, the 12 before 12 thing lives in Liquid Force infamy because it was weird.
But that was 12 beers before 12.
It was
12. No, that was
when
12 beer bongs.
Yeah, 12
that's
beer
not
bongs.
counting side beers.
12 beer bongs before 12.
Yeah, it was
and not
it
counting
was,
side beers like hand holders.
It was
No, they
Wow,
had-
I
they
didn't
had
even know that
6 of
extra
those,
stat.
yeah.
That's good.
well, it was also at PAL where
Holy
we
shit.
had to wake up at like 5 and start shooting, and he would wake up and start drinking and literally crushed 12 beers before 12 p.m. in the afternoon.
little nap and get back out there and
And then
dude.
he would go to bed very early, so he probably went to bed at like 5 in the afternoon.
That's probably why he got a good jump on all you motherfuckers.
Yeah, no,
dude.
it was like-
y'all were
yeah.
going like deep
would-
to like
he would-
2.
He would wake up before everybody, take the jet ski out, come back, ring the bell, and then like fucking be on it. It was
What was it
impressive.
like? What was it like being on the Liquid Force? Because you switched from Cassette eventually to Obscura. But
Well,
like,
I just
so-
wanted
but-
to,
but-
I
but
just
we don't
want to
gotta talk about
say
that,
for
but
the
like-
kids on that infamous day where he did the 12 before 12 with the beer bongs and all the side beers.
Yeah.
I couldn't find him for after 12. I like started crying. I was like, because I always get worried because Lake Powell's so deep.
started crying.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I
I
mean-
don't know where he is.
And you're in
then,
the vastness. Yeah, you're.
and then I finally found him. I'm like, I've been so worried about.
Where was he?
He was just like on a different. Back then we'd have like
Yeah, we'd
4. I mean, it was like insane.
Yeah,
It's
we'd
so
have a
much
bunch
different.
of houseboats. There's a lot of beds all
And you
around.
The
found
amount
him
of money that we
You
used
found
to,
him
I
on a
mean,
random bunk bed on a different boat.
And I was like, I found you. And he's like, don't tell me that. I've been fine the whole time.
It was good. We just got back from PAL from doing another Liquid Force trip that we haven't done in like 10, 15 years. Like it's been a long time since Liquid Force went out to PAL, but a whole new group of guys. I'm now filming it and getting to hang out with these guys, but it was so nice to see that the new crew was like just as involved and wanted it just as much as we did back then, and meaning that
And
they wanted to party.
And
They wanted
na-
to
and
party.
They naturally want to do that. You're not being like Shane, being like, this is what we fucking did
No,
back. Like
no,
you fucking.
they carried it. They carried
came
it.
through.
Like, and they would wake up early, get out there, have the boat set up, ride like awesome, get the shots. As soon as we'd come in for lunch, beers would start cracking. We'd start having fun. We'd still do an evening set, even though we've already had some beers. Like the momentum didn't change even on a 15-year hiatus from it. Like it was so good to see the boys just like excited to relive what they've heard from the last,
yeah, I mean-
.
I will just say this: if any of you kids are on a houseboat trip and you're partying or riding, wear your life jacket. Those lakes are deep.
I know that this comes from Danny because
No,
whenever I
he's
had my
right.
birthday party, I remember one year.
Don't tell that one.
I remember Danny. And we needed to put a life jacket on this guy. There's definitely a point where we got concerned and
No,
we were
but
like,
Danny's-
somebody put a jacket on this guy.
I mean, Danny's right. Those
He
lakes
is right.
Those lakes are
Those
deep
lakes
out
are
there.
deep,
The
man.
lakes are deep.
I think about some of the
And-
stuff you and me did. Like, remember that
and-
Smith Mountain Lake trip where Grace left
Oh,
and we
yeah.
took those 2 houseboats and crashed them into each other?
Yeah, and pushed, and then I was telling these guys this, and they were like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, you just take 2 houseboats and slowly steer them into each other, so they're both pushing, and then we can just party between both houseboats. We don't have to like drive separately. We
But
can all
don't do
We
that.
gotta tie him up.
Yeah, don't
we
do
gotta
that.
tie him
No,
up.
you
No,
and you
don't
would
do
just
that.
put
No,
the
no, you
noses
gotta
and you
keep
just
crashing.
drive noses into each other.
No, we literally crashed the one boat into the other. It was stuck.
Yeah, it's tough.
And yeah, don't
you
do
can
that.
do
kids,
You
do that.
can do that, but you have
That's
to
a
tie the boats,
dangerous-
and you do turn them
dangerous dance
into
floor.
each other
Yeah.
a little bit. But
That's a dangerous dance
I
floor.
love
It was a
that.
dangerous
I love that
dance.
y'all tried to do that without tying above it. Yeah, we're going
Oh,
the
yeah.
perfect speed.
Yeah, no.
Ghost ride the whip.
Oh, yeah. It was like
We
Colin
loved
and
it.
Watson driving. And
We
like,
thought we were geniuses for it. We were like, how do most houseboats not travel like this?
No, those trips are so much fun. No, yeah, like going from Cassette to Liquid, like it was really hard to leave, because Thomas was still trying to keep it going, but he's the one that called me and told me to leave, and then it was like a no brainer. Aaron had already gone, so, and they were great, and we did Obscura over there and all that stuff, and
man, I would love.
We had a blast.
I would love to have I would love to have Thomas on and like kind of like with you and Reed and kind of.
Oh, he'd probably be down, man. He's kind of like getting a little more back into,
Dude.
stuff.
I bought it from Thomas.
classic.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you if that was an old one or if you
No,
bought
I
it.
saw Thomas recently. I
Yeah.
saw that Thomas is releasing a whole bunch of
Yeah,
new
so I went
cassette
on there and I
merch stuff.
bought a shirt and I got a towel. It was sick. And I
That
was like,
artwork is amazing.
It's
Like
so
for a
good.
logo, it doesn't really get any better.
it's classic cassette. But
yeah,
I
Chris
wanted to
Mack.
support it.
Chris Mack out of New Smyrna.
Yeah.
He did a bunch of my tattoos. He did all
Oh
the
yeah, you
original
got
work.
Chris Mack tats? That's nice.
And
Byerly was on here bragging about his Chris Mack graphics and tats and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, love it.
He's a G.
He is
Yeah,
a
I
G.
wouldn't say he was bragging about it, but he was.
No, he wasn't bragging.
I mean,
he wasn't bragging. I took it as a brag because I'm jealous, and I was like,
I mean, when you say you're bragging about your tattoos, that just
No,
that
I didn't mean
that sounds
brag.
really bad.
I didn't mean
Shane,
brag.
you literally just said Byerly was bragging about his tattoos.
well, we were talking about it whenever
Careful.
I was jealous. I was jealous that I didn't have Chris Mack tats, and I was like, man, that's sick. So it wasn't a brag.
Chris
Sorry,
Mack,
Scott.
I love Chris Mack and I love my Chris Mack tats. I will say the one thing, if you're getting a really big thing done by Chris Mack, like I've done on like both my rib cages, he loves to catch up while he's tatting though. So it's could take a little longer.
could
and
take-
it's very, very
yeah.
painful.
He loves big scale stuff. He did a big old Grub has like in his house. He has like 3 pieces that are like 4 feet wide and just like 10 feet tall. It goes across the whole
Yeah.
thing. It's just this wave breaking.
Oh yeah,
Chick
he's
standing
I haven't
there,
talked to him in a
side
while.
titty.
and
I
he-
love
Yes.
some Chris Mack art, dude.
He's a great dude.
What do
Good
you think?
artist.
What do you think, PB? Should we hit him with some rapid fire?
What, you think it's time for a little rip? Watch out, T. Watch out,
Back in Lake Worth Beach.
Blacka. All right, so Dan, what this is rapid fire questions, and we're just going to go quick answers as fast as you can make them. And we're going to start with first wakeboard vid you watched.
What was that instruction thing called with Pat McElhenney and Jason Cooley?
Jason Cooley, dude. Let's
Shout out to Jason Cooley.
No, and Pat McElhenney.
Yeah,
dude.
Pat
Both these-
McElhenney.
Pat was the best.
So Pat was a fucking. Dude,
Yeah.
I know
we
what you're
need to, we're
talking
getting
about.
Pat. We're getting Pat McElhenney.
Oh, I would
on
love
this,
that. Inventor of the blender.
True.
Jason Cooley, yeah, Pride of Arizona. Class in session.
Class in session.
Love it. That's what a good pull. What a good pull, dude.
What's the best spot in the Keys? The best spot. I
mean,
don't know
for-
if it's a restaurant or a spot, a hangout.
I mean, yeah, just for me, it'd be like my mom and dad's place or wherever my buddy Lee Cash is bartending. So either
That's fine.
OV or
That's good.
yeah, I would say OV.
All right. Cowboys or Indians?
Indians, yeah.
Indians. All right. Freshwater or saltwater?
Saltwater. The board rides higher.
Yeah.
Freshwater right after a rain if it switches the pH a little bit.
Interesting
You
take
go
on it.
based on the
And then,
pH.
yeah, I would definitely switch out my Spectra at that
It does
point,
matter.
too.
Yeah. yeah.
Non-stretch or
Oh, it's I mean, it depends. Though,
But it's the
man.
amount of.
I think the reason I was able to film that video part with Colin, the Graceland part, was because Liquid had made me. We did these obscure ropes, and the ropes had some bizarre bounce to them. So, like, if you watch that video part, like, I shouldn't get away with a lot of the stuff I do.
That's an interesting take on it. No, seriously, to break it down, like think about it. Like you're actually like as you're compressing, you're putting a little tension on. If you have just enough like bounce, maybe you hover over the board. Like I never really thought about like just like non-stretch rope to maybe like a little bit of bounce. Like what that could possibly do.
I wasn't as good as
I'm
that
not a
part
good enough
showed.
wake skater to like.
But he
realize
knows
it.
about Spectra. He knows how much Spectra he needs.
When
We're
you-
joking
when
about
you
Spectra,
study
but
it.
you might be right, Dan.
Yeah.
You might fucking
You
you
might
might have had a
actually
few
be right.
threads different.
Dr. Dan, man, yeah, all you kids, whoever's the top dog these days, bring me your ropes and I'll,
Yeah.
if
You'll
you're
fit
gonna be, say you're gonna be, I don't even know where the tour stops are anymore, but say you're gonna be in Cincinnati or where they used to have them,
Yeah. There's
or
not there.
Kenosha,
Yep, not there.
Try one more.
They have one in Reno.
Nope.
No. What?
One more.
Grove
One more.
one, Grove
One more.
one, Florida.
Well, see, that's going to be your daily rope because I'm not going to switch up your rope. But if we're in Reno, I want Spectra a little fresher.
Okay.
Because of the humidity, a little
altitude. Yeah.
altitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite beer?
Miller Lite.
Boom.
Sometimes I drink too many. Sometimes I drink a little less than that.
Best island in the Keys?
Plantation Key.
Plantation Key.
Damn.
Favorite wake skater?
Aaron Reed.
Can we get a favorite modern day wake skater too?
Well, yeah. Favorite.
Aaron Reed, 100%. Like
From the new generation.
Isn't it crazy to see how far this shit's like really kind of like?
Oh,
like,
it's unbelievable.
Just to like tap into it for a second, it was like, dude, like I mean, you were one of the first ones. People have done kick flips and stuff before you, but like you were one of the first generations to kind of like really start to lock down some of these kind of like technical tricks. Isn't it wild how far like what they're doing like on just on call all the time?
Well, I mean, it blows my mind too because like Thomas came out with a winch, right? And like the winch wasn't around before Thomas, and like we started using that, like so we were the first people to really ride behind the winch, and now the winch is in like skateboarding, snowboarding, surfing. It's just like it blows my mind a little bit, like to see how far that stuff's come.
Okay, so how's this? My mom, when she worked at Cypress Gardens way back in the day,
That's what I was gonna say. This is like when I like.
So they had this giant winch at Cypress Gardens that they would water ski across this Olympic-sized pool.
This is back in the
and they do shows in this pool.
This is back in the 60s.
No way.
Yeah. So I heard about this and I asked my mom to figure out if they still had the winch. She was like, actually, they do. Like she looked around. She was like, it's super heavy. It's about the size of this table, maybe a little smaller, but it was like made out of stainless steel and it has these giant wheels on it. And
the pool was only like 200 feet long. So a swivel skier would like come to the thing and they would do all these dive shows. So they had like diving boards. They had this like jump where like people would hit skis and they had a whole like amphitheater like staging around this. There was like an underwater like see-through tank. And this is where, and so the winch was they did water skiing show just like 300, 400 feet away, but they brought water skiing to that pool with that winch for like in the 60s.
That's so cool,
and they
man.
ran it off of electricity. So it had this big power cord coming off of it that's just been snipped. And that's why it was just sitting in the side of like the show ski circle. And we went and picked it up, and it took 3 or 4 of us to pick this thing up. It was honestly like 300 or 400 pounds. It was like heavy as shit. And we put it in the back of the truck because I was like, I want to dissect this thing and figure it out. This is before Thomas had made the winch.
No way.
So I pull it out, and we have it at the house. And literally, while it's at the house for maybe like a few months, like within just a little bit, Thomas.
No, but Shane, to add on to that, like when we picked up and when this happened, I told Thomas what we were doing, and I was like, dude, but I was like, Thomas, like he was doing wake skating, like I think like you were like you jumped out of the Florida pool, like
we did that,
so,
the
so
Cypress Gardens stuff,
and
then we were doing the Metro West gap.
Well, and Thomas, like me and Thomas are really good friends. We grew up in the same area, and like I was like, dude, we talked about this back in the day. I was like, dude, they used to tow people across the fucking pool. If you could figure out like a fucking like a lot like an inch like something like a car spool like a tire or like some type of like thing, and dude, I mean, we took back that like hunk of fucking shit. Yeah, Thomas went to a fucking like someone was like, hey, this is what I want. This is what I want. He fabricated and like
so
and
what happened is like, maybe I think maybe you guys put the bug in his ear. But our friend Tony Robinson, his family owns this airport in Opelika. They've had it forever. And Thomas, we were down there, or I wasn't there yet. But he was down there with Tony, and like, I guess at airports they have like like when you, I guess a simple way to describe it is like, like if you're at a gas pump or whatever.
Yeah, like the recoil.
The recoil thing. Yeah. I guess they have they had a different setup for whatever was happening at that airport, and he saw like it just had a motor like, and then he basically, I think Tony was the one that actually helped him build it out. Tony Robinson.
So they like yank it and then it would just start.
It was just it was like basically a.
You just turn it on.
You had to keep your hand on it. That the first ones we were using, so you couldn't let go.
There was no brake and
there was nothing, and like the thing you had to hold it back.
Because
until
you rode
got it up.
with Thomas. You probably rode the first generation of
I did,
winches.
yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, that is really cool.
And the Metro West Gap was the first one. Kind of
That was the first one that I rode it at, and I almost kickflipped down it, but the winch actually died out. You can see, I think it was in Sumano, but like I kickflip it, but like you see I lose speed in the air, so I fall back. But eventually I did.
Yeah.
You lost
No.
your rope tension. Judges?
No, they give it to you. The judges gave it to you. All right, that's good.
It's the wrong kind of rope.
Yeah, not the right spectra. Not the right spectra.
Dude, what a good wormhole of like winch kind
Yeah,
of like history
I
and
know.
like of like the way it was kind of like a
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of neat to look back on that, like, you know, because everybody thinks that like water sports never given anybody anything, but if you kind of look at what's going on,
The
now,
history of
yeah,
it,
we've
yeah.
kind of given them a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to hear some crazy history? Is you know, I used to be a big reader, because actually during my whole career I went to school and got my degree in English.
Way to slide that
It's
in.
not a big deal. You see, but there's this old book, or it's a short story by F. Scott Fitzgerald from the 1920s, and in the story, the girl's wake surfing.
What? That's really cool.
It's really neat. Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
You watch Cypress Gardens footage, like they're like in 40s, 30s, like they're running some
basically
big
did
boats,
this,
trimming
yeah.
them down and kind of like outboard trimming.
Yeah.
Like
A lot of that old school the Cypress Gardens footage is
if
like.
you
sort of
don't know
mind-blowing.
where you come from, you don't know where you go.
You ready to go on to the next one?
Yeah.
Next one's
I
good.
I forgot what we were doing.
I forgot that we're still in. Fucking,
Yeah.
it's freaking-
Next one's good. I like this one. What's the favorite trick I've invented? What's your favorite trick I've invented?
The Superman front roll.
Oh, boom.
Damn! What a
Dang.
great answer, dude.
That is a good one.
I agree
I
with
thought
that.
the
That's
low
way-
and the
Wow.
low.
Hey, that was way better.
No,
than
actually,
the-
yeah, you guys had my favorite parts of that movie.
That's
Dude, your part was, yeah. I always loved the way you were riding the one, like, was that 128 though?
Yeah, 128, trip
I
128.
love
Danny
it.
know the fucking stats
Size
on your
of the
fuck-
board,
dude.
too.
Because
It's
he
easy.
had it wide too,
You're
and it
fun,
always
yeah,
looked like
dude.
he like dominated the board, and I love
Yeah.
that because it didn't. Now everybody rides such big boards.
Well, and really, that was the first board that was kind of fucking like sized up like that. Let's
Yeah.
go wider, smaller, fit in the transition, and have the same surface area with a smaller fucking like length. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had the Powerman 5000 song. And ironically, we got into PM 5K before we saw that movie because Kyle's brother had gotten into it or something. We were like, oh, yeah.
Shit was powerful, dude.
All right. What number am I thinking of?
12.
No. Foil or wake surf?
Oh, probably wake surf because I've only foiled maybe once, twice. I wasn't that good at it.
All right.
I'm sure I would be.
What's the worst Olympic?
don't.
What's the worst
Mike
Olympic
Jordan at board.
sport?
Wait, back it up. What was it?
What's the worst Olympic sport?
I don't know, man. As long as they're trying and they're Olympians, I think they're doing good.
All right. Well, the correct answer is triage. It's triage.
That's the fucking.
Is that
correct
where
answer.
they? Is that where they like they ski and shoot?
No, that's where the horses dance.
Oh yeah, I don't like. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody does.
You didn't
Nobody
know
likes that one.
Yeah, that's definitely worst.
Favorite
I don't
band.
even know that was in the Olympics.
Favorite band or song?
Oh man, I'm like, I'll just do it. Yeah, Jimmy Buffett.
Okay, well then that's really good because
Is that what that tattoo is?
I got
Parrot
this
Head
the
Club
week
right
after
there?
he died.
all right. Well,
Really?
Yeah, my mom used to like hang
Damn,
out
that's a
on his
good idea.
houseboat. And
Really?
my grandmother just started claiming this. I'm not sure if it's true, but she said she used to give Jimmy Buffett a 12-pack to play outside her open houses. She was a real estate agent back then.
It's actually it's such a good, whether it's a lie or the truth, it's so good because it's so accurate that like nobody can question you on it. You know, like
know,
the
I
best
just had
lies
never heard
are
it
ones that like
before until
make the
recently.
most sense. You know, like you're like shit.
But no, my mom has some stories about old Jimmy B.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'll go to this one. I gotta skip
Rest
a
in
few
peace.
questions. But
Yeah,
best
rest in
Jimmy
peace.
Buffett song.
Pirate Licks at 40.
Mm,
They played that when my grandpa died. My mother's dad. He was a shrimper.
Who's a shrimper?
Sigh.
Could you do a soul grind?
Yeah, dude.
You think you could do a soul grind today? If I gave you a pair of K2 fatties.
100%.
Okay.
Interesting, because we actually have rollerblades right now. We're going into the garage right now.
No.
I'm just joking.
Set it up, baby.
Did you ever own a pair of Jinkos?
Oh my God, yeah, dude.
Yeah, sweet.
Dude, me and my buddy Kyle and all the boys, dude, we all had Jinkos.
Yeah, Jinkos.
And
were the shit.
we were waiting to get them because
Waiting list to get Jinkos.
No, not a waiting list. But at that time, Jinkos only came in really big sizes and like, or I guess not big, like 28s. And we were children. So we actually got them. We were still there.
Ham them up.
Yeah, we did.
I got a Jinko sticker on the board over here. I love it. 2 Jinko stickers, actually. Love Jinkos.
Yeah, Jinkos are so sick.
Love that they're coming back. You see that they're coming back?
Yeah, I've seen a
I
lot
follow
of that.
Jinko on Instagram, and they're actually
Wait,
making
Jinko's if Instagram's firing right now?
fucking popping off, dude.
What do they
Bieber's
post?
worn the shit.
What do they post? Well,
Bieber's worn
I mean,
Jinkos
I believe
recently.
it. That's not.
Yeah, they're just posting people wearing Jinkos.
My friend Jack that lives in like Hollywood always tells me my pants are so tight. I'm like, dude, I bought these at Walmart and they're just the regular fit pants. and they
So they're
look
too
like
small, or
skinny
they-
jeans.
All right, next one. How's the fish biting?
Yeah, it's all right. You know, last month was on fire. This month is a little bit. I don't know. It's been odd. It's been very, very windy, which is weird for June. So
I passed this by Parks. I said it a little bit ago, but I want to do a recurring segment on the banter where we just call you and we just ask, "How's the fish biting?"
oh yeah, you can.
You can?
I love
can?
that, dude.
I wanna
anytime
do it.
doing
I wanna
Hey,
just do
we're
it.
gonna take a second
give
to
you
call
a-
Danny Hampson and see how the fish are biting.
I'll give you a full report.
Yeah, just
I
give us
love
a
it.
fish review or
Great
a beach
idea,
review. Let us know how the winds are, what's popping,
It's
the
been
redfish.
It's been raining, so they opened up the locks again. And I can't find clean water down 3 miles out.
That's exactly what we want.
Talk to your government. Talk to the sugar people.
Okay.
Wait. Can I add one to that, Shane?
Yeah, go for it.
Favorite fish to catch, and favorite fish to eat. So it's 2 separate. So like, what's about the fight? What's about the eat?
It's a very unpopular opinion, but I love catching kingfish, king mackerel.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's just like a
And
strange
favorite
passion.
fish to eat.
Wahoo or cobia. Cobia, I'd say wahoo.
It's mine. I love wahoo.
Yeah, wahoo's really good. Cobia is really good to cook. Wahoo's really good raw.
All right. Best trip you've ever been on?
Probably coming here today.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say.
Damn, really? That's actually is correct answer?
Oh, shit. That's
Definitely the
too
wrong
good.
answer.
That's definitely the wrong one. You've been on way cooler trips. Favorite section you've ever made?
It would have to be that part I made with Colin, the Graceland part.
I really liked that.
Thank
I
you.
really liked that because it was like a section of just going as big as possible. Like you went out into the flats on almost every trick. Is that am I thinking of the right section?
Yeah, no, I was staying at Colin's then, but you had your boat behind his house, and I was just using your boat.
yeah, no, it was there for you.
I would spend, like, dude, I would fill it with gas and
it was there for you.
I don't know, like Colin was the Liquid Force filmer back then, but like he was getting paid to film, and he was just so down to film me, and like I don't know, I could never do that part again. That was the best I could possibly do.
It was so good because every single trick that you did, you could do it wake to wake, but then you would go, I'm going out into the flats, and you would. I remember
take a lot of repetitions to kind of get some of those. Like
I remember
big
Colin
spins
showing
and, like,
me you
late
eating
shows
shit so much.
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
man. Like
The falls are like not easy on that. When you like fall doing a lip trick or something, that's like one thing. But like when you open yourself up for like to the bubbles, kind of like fucking.
Yeah, and that board I was riding too back then, like it had so much rocker, the old SST that Silas designed. It just like would land so hard too, and not even just the wake to wake, like all the winching stuff. I mean, I was just lucky I had a filmer that was down to stick with me because like. Yeah. Honestly, after like I got in my accident, broke my neck and stuff, like it always took me a lot like to like maybe like do the things I wanted to do. Yeah. And Colin just, stuck with me. And I mean, I don't know. My body, I think after that part, like I kind of knew I could never
do it again.
Yeah, like that was the best I could possibly do. And like everyone was so supportive, like Bob Sovin, Colin, you let me use the boat. Watson was super down. It was just like,
no, it was really.
I don't
cool.
know. I gave it my all. I don't think I could have done better than that. So.
Yeah.
Your board control and edge control was like insane. I remember watching that Sumata when they're shooting straight down on the edge, and you're just like ripping. You're switching back and forth, and you're like grab railing, and you're like
that was
bouncing back.
pre-pop, yeah.
Pre-pop, yeah, man, dude. But I'm saying like there's a lot of wake skaters out there that rip that don't have the fucking hack that you have. You have a grade A fucking like slash, dude. Like for not being a surfer, you gotta mean edge control, dude.
Well, I think that came from like when we moved from my parents' old house. Even at my parents' old house, my dad had built like a slope in the backyard that you could. Like,
I remember going to your house and he had that
wave, yeah. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'd always be like ripping that on the skateboard as hard as I could, So, and I mean, I used to surf. I was never like, obviously, I can't surf like I can.
What'd you surf? Sombrero Reef and get out there?
No, like we'd surf that sometimes. That shit's, dude, I can't believe Colin like would do like that stuff. Like, dude, it's so sketchy out there. Like, unless you have a wave runner, it's so hard. Like my dad's friend Henry, they were surfing out there once, and my dad's friend Henry got too tired because you have to paddle the entire time. It's
A lot of water
it's
moving
horrible.
over the reef, yeah.
Not in Sombrero. This is up by me, but like it is just horrible. So he just gave up. And it was just the two of them out there. My dad went back to the boat, and Henry never came back, so they had to call the Coast Guard.
No way. He just started drifting?
Yeah, they got the chopper. They found him
Holy
somewhere.
shit.
He's just laying on the board. He's like, I
I
can't.
could do it.
That's one way to.
No, but me and my dad actually used to like, go up north and surf up there. Then we go to Costa Rica sometimes and stuff.
Nice. So that's where you got your hack.
No, I got my hack. I can't hack on a surfboard like
No,
that.
I mean you're on a wake skate.
Oh yeah.
You got a mean slash, dude.
Yeah, I mean I got the idea for the hack from there. And like at that time too, it was weird. I wanted to show that the actual like idea of riding the board was something that could be cool. It
not the trick. Yeah, the in between.
It didn't really catch on.
No,
I think it did, dude.
I
We're
think it
fucking
did.
talking about it. It resonated.
I don't
with me.
know,
I remember
man.
watching it.
I don't really keep up with stuff too much anymore. But like you watch like even a wakeboard contest now, and like they'll like edge out with their hands behind their back, like jump around.
Yeah,
and
the,
things have changed.
the handcuff edge out is just a very lazy way
And
of
they're just
getting
like all
out
sorts
wide.
of like it's
They
just-
do some moves that are questionable, but they're the ones in charge now, so you just got to let them do their thing.
But no, back then I was I may have been inhaling a little bit too, and I just wanted to feel that board.
I just wanted to feel that board, baby.
What were you made some solid songs in your time. Some good originals.
Dude, Byerly was talking about some of these,
I
and he
know.
has them on his iPad.
Oh, he does?
Or no, iPod. And it's an old vintage one that you need the wide charger. I don't even think you can get these things off if you wanted to. I don't think there's an update that goes back. Do you know, is there anywhere where these songs live?
I think Ross
possibly?
Gardner has some.
Ross
Oh,
Gardner
Ross
has
lives
them.
right across the street from me now.
Which means we'll never get them because
Yeah.
Shane.
I invited Ross to come out to Clearmount, but his mom and sister are in town.
But no, so
damn,
you think
so-
Ross has like Sweet Silent Pool?
I think so.
So what is Sweet Silent Pool about?
No, it's about the cable.
Not a boat, just the silent
Yeah,
pool.
the cable's a sweet silent pool because there's no noise.
Love that.
Yeah. What were some of
take
the
a
other
slow
bangers?
take a slow lap?
What were some of the
On
other
the beginner
bangers
lake.
that you made? Were you
I think
involved with
Wake
Wake
Barbie?
Barbie was probably the best one.
Wake
Wake
Barbie
Barbie
did,
was
shout out
good.
to-
Were you involved with the Water Sports Will Survive? Or
No.
was that one?
I
was
told you,
Balzer?
Shane, that was Silas.
That was
That was-
Silas.
I was over
Silas
there with
and
him. I was,
Balzer, yeah.
I was
That one's a
over
good
there.
one.
I was over there when we wrote that.
All right, fair enough. My bad. I'm just throwing out some
I
awesome
think I
bangers.
did like the. I mean, there was a CD this one girl made of the songs, and I have the disc. I don't know if
But who has a CD player?
I don't know if it plays. It was like half a mile from the. It was like from that Van Morrison song, but I couldn't read it. Like half a mile from the city slick, and the rain came falling down. Just me and the king away, wearing his perfect crown. And it was all about like it was kind of based on me and Scott riding in like the back little like once you go through like back then Lake Georgia was really low, so like you'd go through and there's
The
like
little
this,
cut right there was really shallow.
that's so good.
You wrote a song about that, dude.
That's so good.
Holy shit! We need to maybe get these things out on.
Have you heard some of his recent songs? I wouldn't say recent; they were a few years ago now. But there's, we just gave all the Patreon members the Black Sheep Bonifay about Paul Bonifay. That one was pretty good.
I like tried to. I tried to sign up for the Patreon through Instagram like 3 weeks ago, and for whatever reason it was glitching on me. But then I tried to find that.
We'll cut this out. You guys
we're
can
leaving
sit
it
down.
in
No, I'm
Patreon.
just joking. Patreon needs to step the game up.
But then I tried to find that song organically, and no, I couldn't find it.
No, you can't find it organically. But before you leave, we'll make sure we
I wanna hear that.
fill you in on some.
No, PP songs. He can actually play the guitar, so that helps.
There's I really like the.
I don't even know about that one. That one's even
I always like the shady shade of tan, the shady
shades of tan.
shades of tan.
We used me and Aaron used Parks' song in the movie we made, the Washed Up Before Your Has-Beens, the obscure Wakeskate video.
What song? What? Really?
Yeah, you have the credit song.
Damn. What song was it?
Oh, it's like the Bro Stock song. I was like
Oh, the Bro
I'm going
Stock
to Bro
song.
Stock.
Holy shit.
Oh, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
What was it? On what video?
The video me and Aaron made, like when
I
we
made
had
a
Obscure
Bro Stock 2013 song.
Yeah.
That I was like, damn, I forgot about that song.
I'm going to Bro Stock.
Yeah, I'm on my way. Yeah, it was like pretty much knocked off of who was that? It was
Jake or no?
Jake Brown. No.
Yeah, I forget, but it was like
Zach Brown.
Yeah, it's
Toes
like,
in the water. That's what it was.
like Watson's.
Toes.
Oh, I
Drive.
do
Yeah, yeah.
remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, he just landed. Yeah, it's like-
All right, maybe if we dig deep enough, we can find you a bootleg.
I
version
think,
for the
I,
Patreon
think, I
members.
think I can find it tonight. I actually think I know where I can find
What was the name of the obscure video?
Washed Up Before Your Has-Beens.
Bro
That's
Stock
Miles
2010.
Vickers quote.
That one's not on my list. I got like 88 old wakeboard videos.
I found it because the other night, or I found the whole thing the other day because I was like trying to show my girlfriend. I was like, oh yeah, look, I used to edit stuff because I was trying to edit the Yamaha stuff. I was like, I edited a whole movie once.
Sit down and watch. Sit down and watch. She's like,
Yeah,
"I
it's
don't
got
want
30.
this."
You got 33 minutes.
You'll never get back, but
Yeah,
it's worth it.
She has no clue what's going on with it.
Danny, I heard a rumor that you have some trust issues with a certain water mammal. Is this true?
Oh, dolphin.
Is that real? You don't trust dolphins? I
don't
feel like
know.
being a seaman, like, the way you are. This is out of all the shady ones out there, it's the dolphin you don't trust.
To be honest, yeah. I mean, I know what the shark has intended for me. The dolphin, I really don't.
Know their intention.
No, they're unpredictable. They laugh and they want to hurt you.
It's the
whether
laugh.
people want to believe it or not, man. Dolphin. I don't know how much I can say without getting censored, but they're.
I don't think people are going to censor you.
I mean, they're a gross animal, man. They.
Gross.
Really? This is gonna be a frown.
Yeah,
Is
no,
this Danny's hot take right
No,
here?
I've swam with pods of hundreds of dolphins.
What did they do? They molest you or?
No, I mean they would love to. I don't let them. But yeah, the male dolphins will go down to the bottom, pleasure themselves on the bottom, and come up having fun. It's a bizarre. They're a bizarre creature, and people don't understand. Like the male dolphins try to kill the baby male dolphins, and they're fast, they're powerful, and they're so smart.
It is,
They're a
it's hot
perfect
take.
enemy.
That's a hot take.
Dude, they kill their own young.
No, you guys can look it up. I mean, if you guys if you really want to get into it,
If we really want to get
I
red
sort of
flag,
wanna
let's
get
go.
into
I mean,
Let's
there's
go.
podcasts about people who have been accused of having like long-term relationships with dolphins and all sorts of different things.
Is that because they're smart enough to relate?
Think they can manipulate you?
Yeah, they should.
They're just enough like a cat to where they can like take over a life.
That's the exact thing. They're manipulative,
They're very manipulative. Yeah.
and I don't want to be around an animal that's manipulative.
yeah.
That laughs
And
at
you come at me with that when you have something against Twiggy.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
well, technically that
fucking
was from
hate
Tony.
squirrels.
That was from Tony Smith. But you're right. If we want to get down to Twiggy, it's real. I feel that I don't trust that little dude.
Did
I mean,
you-
I respect the hustle. Like 30 years later, 40 years later, he's still doing still doing the same thing.
Did you watch the documentary about the dude that became friends with the octopus?
Oh yeah.
That was super weird. He like started a relationship with an octopus, and I was like, this is going way too far.
I don't think so. I really like that movie.
It made me feel horrible actually. Cause
Yeah.
one time me and my brother went out and caught a bunch of octopus, and we thought they were the ones that you could eat. And
How'd that go?
well, they're hard to kill.
Well, they're very smart. They're super smart.
Well, yeah, like, and we didn't have a knife on board, and
You try to like strangle it? What was the method?
I had a dive weight. Yeah, it just like made me feel. Even at the time, I felt bad about what I was doing, but
Right, I could imagine if you're.
It's a good thing you brought it up on the podcast so everybody else could be involved with your
And to
octopus.
let you know what this feels like at home, imagine a really big loogie and trying to strangle it.
there was a lot of them too.
Yeah, there's a lot of them too. You're like,
And that's why he eats calamari.
No, I mean we tried to eat them, but they weren't the right type. But.
yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen a lot.
I don't know anybody else that's happened to, but it could.
All my friends run into the same problem. They're like trying to kill these octopus, and there's just too many of them, and they're hard to kill.
Yeah, maybe let's cut this part out. I don't want people to know.
Yeah. Maybe.
Hey, did you listen to the Danny Harf Ruck episode?
I did.
Oh, so you know Sebastian's a crab, not a lobster.
Yeah, the whole time.
But yeah,
guys are-
I mean, you
the
would because
the whole
you're
time guys are talking about it. Sebastian the crab
yeah.
under the sea.
I was
Yeah,
with
but
you.
like a lobster could sing like that too.
I always
No,
thought
I
it was
couldn't.
A lobster couldn't sing like a crab under.
No,
you
the
could see
lobster has
in a
no
cartoon.
vocals. The lobster is a horrible singer.
Wait, the crab
I
actually
know,
had a vocal
I
cords where
could
he could
kind
like
of,
sing.
I could
Crabs
kind
are
of
great
understand
singers.
why you got confused because you guys were thinking like a Maine lobster.
I never
I just
got
always
confused.
knew it was Sebastian the crab. I know you didn't get confused. I was talking about them getting confused.
No, I said Maine lobsters have a big ass claw, and the downs.
But it's just always been.
Sounds.
I just know
if-
him as Sebastian.
If
the
you
crab.
were question, if you were a lobster, which one are you taking, Danny? And you can pick whatever you want, but I feel like you're going to pick this answer because you're geographically connected to this lobster. You're a lobster. You want to be from Maine with one big claw, or do you want to be from the Keys with a bunch of spines, bunch of spikes, with no claws?
That's an easy answer. Yeah, I'd love to be the Atlantic spiny lobster.
Damn,
Florida based, baby.
Florida based. Hey, even in a lobster question, you're not leaving Florida, and I love that. That's why Danny Hampson is a true Florida.
And, you know what too is those Maine lobsters. I've never personally been up there and caught them, but they move.
So you can't speak on it.
Kind of. They move slow because of the cold water. The spiny lobster, even if you catch one, you catch it with your hands. That spiny lobster will try to bite you, and if they bite you, it hurts horribly. They have crushers.
So tiny mouth like a nurse shark, but it hurts.
It's actually pretty similar to, unfortunately, the octopus. It's almost like a beak.
I've always said like the lobster, especially the ones down south here, like they have so many defense mechanisms, like exoskeleton, big old horns, like they get all of this stuff, and they just swim backwards. They just run away. It's just like a
But
sad
that's how
thing.
scallops and that's how a lot of like
I
things
know,
kinda,
but it's
move.
like-
They,
it's
that's
like-
the most aerodynamic shape.
I
They,
guarantee
push.
you give me like a crown of horns, like some spiny little things
It's
all the
about
way down my
defense,
back.
Shane. Like you
They're playing
defend
too
up, but
much
you can, like,
defense. They
you
have
can,
an
like, retreat.
exoskeleton. An exoskeleton means if you gave me an exoskeleton, I'm going into
The fuck
battle.
are you doing with the exoskeleton,
Dude,
Shane?
I'm going to war. I'm going to war. That's what I would do, and I would be proud of it. They
But
don't do this. They just go.
They only have the exoskeleton when they're shedding, though. The rest of the time, that skeleton's a real skeleton.
They still have horns.
They do have the horns, and they have the.
They're hard to grab with your hands. Like they are.
Oh yeah, you have to have gloves on.
What's your favorite? What's your best technique? Like anyone, if you're going down to the Keys and you're trying to catch a lobster in season, do it fucking legally. What's your best technique to catch a lobster? Because I want to know.
Well, I mean, first off, I would say don't put your hands in holes if you're not experienced. But if you are experienced and you have a
Is that what local people say so that you don't get the big lobsters?
no, I just don't want anyone to get bitten by an eel or something.
Is that what the threat is? If you put your hand into a mysterious hole? You
Not
know?
really. I mean, I just don't want people to drown.
That sounds, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But no,
It's a
if
local-
you get them out in the open, like you do your hand like this.
You're sidetracked to them, right?
So they look at your hand right here, and you come behind them, straight behind them, and then.
So that's how when they do the.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
I can honestly catch them faster with my hands usually than the net and tickle stick. If you're just trying to.
Really? So you really just trying to get on the side of them and like get their attention, and then hit them from like the side.
I mean,
profile?
honestly, like lately, every time I've been lobstering, it's either like helping out people who aren't familiar with it or whatever. So that they're down there with a net and tickle stick. That's the easiest way, I guess, if you're starting out. But so I'm just like kind of like picking up the scraps or whatever.
Can you get them in Lake Worth down there where you go fishing and stuff? Or
yeah, I mean we've gotten some. It's better like a little south of me in like Boca and stuff.
Yep.
Only time I actually really get in the water around me is if Bob's in town, and now that I got him that job at Yamaha, he never comes to town. So. He shot me in the foot. He used to be here. He used to be with me all the time. He'd stay for like a couple weeks.
Bobby, come back.
I know.
Bobby, come back.
He's gone.
You can bring it.
Because up, I mean, there's so much current, and it's like really deep. Usually, all the spots too. So you need like another like experienced diver.
You need a deep diver like Bobby.
Yeah, and then like my friend Kyle.
Yeah,
he can't free dive or even dive so much anymore because he got the bends real bad scuba diving, and then like now like it affects him a little bit.
It's kind of scary. That's a whole fucking kind of PSD kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't even. Like, no, I think it's like the pressure. I don't.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, I even hear about fucking some of Reed's and Nick Taylor's stories and Bob's, and I'm just like, makes me not want to hold my breath longer in a minute.
No, I like to go as shallow as possible.
Yeah, I don't go deep. I got an ear thing that it pops too easy and it just doesn't work right. And
I mean,
I can only go about 15 feet deep. So I think about my max these days.
Believe it or not, I can go very, very deep. And I don't.
How long can you hold your breath for?
I've never like timed myself. I just get in the water and go down like 65 and spearfish or whatever.
So,
and everyone like always talks all this smack to me, like, "Oh, you can't do that." I'm like, okay.
Because we have another challenge here. It's time for Danny to hold his breath for 2 minutes for a $20 Lowe's card this time. Are you ready? Should we smoke a cig before?
I will literally pass out before I miss it. I will die. No, I mean I just like I grew up spearfishing so much with my dad and stuff. It's more like a mental thing than actual physical. Because unfortunately I am a smoker, but
when you're
I can smoke a cig, and
but you can still go.
I can smoke a cig, get in the water, and I'm not like doing like Colin and Bob do, where they like breathe up and like swim around, and I just go down.
I love it.
And come up with a big ass grouper.
I mean, I don't have the same stamina they do.
No,
they
yeah,
do that
understandable.
all day,
but I mean, you're more efficient. You can go down there and get what you want.
Not even more efficient. Just I can do it. But
let's entertain it for the banter. You know?
I'm just being. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be doing that all day. But like I said, man, the shallower the better, dude.
Yeah,
that's one of the most dangerous things in the world. People don't realize there's so many poor kids in the Keys
and holding your breath long by yourself.
Yeah, just like the more comfortable you get holding your breath, even if you have a partner,
you get cocky, kind of complacent a little bit.
Well, that's what. No, it's not even that. It's shallow water blackout is like it happens to experienced people because you're just so experienced that you push your body and you don't even realize, and then
because they're used to diving probably deeper,
it's just like I don't even know what it is, but
you don't think that they're like, oh, it's only 10 feet, I can go like way further than I can typically do.
I mean unfortunately
you don't think that's like a complacency and kind of like taking advantage of your skills and like getting a little bit
it's all
too comfortable with it.
I don't know, all these kids in the Keys are really good divers, and even like older people that are really good divers. By me, 2 of them died this year.
Damn,
they're like so comfortable that they don't realize
when it's go time.
Yeah, until it's too late. It happened to me. I mean,
and it usually happens at the less. I heard
it happens like 10 feet.
Like Reed tells a story. I've heard Bob almost like I don't know if it's Bob or Nick, but like it happens. They'll hold their breath for like 2 or 3 minutes down there, kind of like down deep, and it happens like as they're ascending back to the surface, and it's usually about like 10 feet before they get up to the surface. They just
Bob scares me so bad, man. Anytime we're out there together, because he'll have Bryce with him, his buddy who's a really good diver too, but like I don't know, Bob thinks I'm unsafe, but Bob is unsafe. He'll like literally, it's an outboard boat, I have I'm running the boat, we're on a drift, and he'll pop up without telling me next to the motor. I'm like, bro, you can't do that, Bob.
Bob is 100% unsafe. Bob is, he bought a sailboat and didn't know how to sail and tried to bring his friends sailboating. Like the story is insane. They all like
his brothers. Or one brother.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
but honestly, went out there and shit went sour. And I've asked Bob, like, because he does a bunch of stuff, and I was like, when it was the explanation that he doesn't think he gets scared, and he's scared that he doesn't get scared because he does these things, and everybody else around him is freaking out, and he's not freaking out. He's like, I think we'll be okay, guys. And they're like, dude, we have no sails. The engine is down. We are in the middle of the ocean. We are like floating.
Bob is
And
a very
Bob's like-
half full kind of dude.
He doesn't
He's
have
like,
a positive
But
attitude.
it's the idea that the thing that scares him most is the idea that he doesn't get scared, so he doesn't know how far he should go with
and maybe that's
something.
when some rational decisions go.
Yeah,
right.
I
no,
will
it's a really
say-
funny idea of
He's gotten a lot better lately.
yeah.
We all get
We
older.
all get older,
Yeah.
but no, I mean, I really loved that
Yeah,
idea.
I guess
of,
he is getting old.
it's like the thing the thing that's going to kill me is the idea that I can't kill myself. It's like it's a crazy one.
That's
He's
very
yeah,
deep analysis.
He's
of,
a
Bob's
nihilist.
episode.
I mean,
Yeah,
he even
it's
called
a
himself.
nihilist.
He called himself a nihilist.
Yeah.
Let's take a little break, boys.
Yeah. I would love to hear this.
Wait, all right, guys. We're back from the break. And what did your brother say?
Well, me and my brother both been talking about it. It's like people were out in the sun for forever, and no one ever got skin cancer until they started making sunscreen.
Mm.
It's funny you say that. There's an old school Donnie Brown from Mastercraft. He was this ginger dude, real ginger. I'm talking about fair skin, redhead, freckles. And he ran the boats around up at Mastercraft in Tennessee for years. And shout out Donnie Brown, dude.
Donnie
because
Brown.
he said that same thing you said, Danny. He's like, cancer didn't come around till sunscreen. Well, I think he would like spit out like a thing of dip, like in between that. You go, cancer didn't come around till sunscreen.
Yeah.
Shout out, dude. Donnie Brown was like, and what do you? Is there any truth to is there any truth?
I don't know. I mean, I told Bob that a couple times though, and then there was this one day Bob had like somebody on the boat he was trying to impress, and he said that joke. Like I forget what the joke was. Like, oh, sunscreen causes cancer, and the person's like, well, my dad died from skin cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta really figure out your crowd that you're talking to.
You know what? I'm gonna wear sunscreen all fucking day.
Yeah, don't follow my advice.
I'll throw on some sunburn.
I went down the rabbit hole. Of,
Donnie Brown's still alive and still looks. I'll put up a picture of Donnie Brown. I have it favorited in my photo, so I definitely can access.
I went
it.
down a small little rabbit hole of because I was like, a sunscreen goes on and it doesn't do anything to your skin. It's just this clear chemical that goes on, and then you don't get sunburnt. And I was like, what is going on here? And I was like, basically asked Google. I was like, what is sunscreen and how is this a thing? Like, what's going on here? And it was like just a wild thing of
So
being
what's your
like,
medical advice by Google?
so basically it's anything above like 30 SPF is just sort of, it's not bullshit. There's more chemicals in it, but it's only diluting the amount of UV rays that you're getting by like fractions. Like let's just say these numbers are off, but let's just say 30 SPF gets rid of 80% of UV rays. When you go up to like 50 SPF, it's only getting rid of like 83%. So it's like you're putting crazier chemicals on just to get rid of 3%. And then when you go up to like 100% or 70%, it never is 100% of UV rays that you get rid of, but you're putting harsher chemicals on your body to just get rid of fractions of a percentage. Like it doesn't really work after about 30%.
I mean, and we're not medically graded here.
There's
on
no-
Bonifay Banter. So
No, but if
take
any
this
of
for
you
the
guys
good
want to
salt.
meet me and some of my buddies from Reddit, we're
What do they know?
we're gonna be at the Orlando Convention Center in about 3 weeks, and we're gonna open your eyes to a
we have
lot
a
more
booth
things than
that's-
just sunscreen.
Yeah, we have an anti-sunscreen, but no. I'm
Have
just
you guys
joking.
ever thought about the shape of the Earth? Have you ever thought about sunscreen? We're also going to be solving a lot of true crime.
Yeah, if you think the Earth is flat, you're probably not wearing sunscreen too.
I did one of my favorite things. I love watching flat earther videos, and I appreciate when one gets me hooked for about 2 or 3 minutes where I'm like, this dude's making a lot of good points. And then I got to go, oh shit, no, he's so wrong. He's so dumb. But it's like the production value. If they get the music and he's like talking with like a tone of voice that's like, so guys,
I feel like you
thing,
should. I feel like you should watch a Flat Earther.
I watched.
Just so that you can. I'm like almost fascinated to see how these fuckers can even like truly believe this. So I'm gonna watch their fucking. I got. I mean,
I'm feeling very attacked right now.
He lives in the Keys. They all are flat earthers. No, just joking.
There is a giant ice cap around the entire flat world that's holding us all.
The 7 Mile Bridge alone probably isn't level.
No, I was about to quit talking to everybody until I saw this video where they tried to debunk it, and
they bunked themselves.
Bunked themselves.
Yeah. No, I love a flat earther. If you get them talking long enough, they will come full circle, and it's funny because they're not going on a flat line. They go full circle, and you're like, yeah, that's what we live on.
Global.
It's just crazy, man. It's just it's distracting us from the real problems in the
real
world.
problems.
The lizard people and all that other stuff.
Yeah, the real shit.
All that other stuff you guys will see at the Orlando Convention Center.
If you visit our booth, it'll be
in 2 weeks with my Reddit crew.
Yeah. That's good. Let's get into a little spin.
Let's do a spin to win.
Let's talk about what we're giving away this time, because this is probably the best prize we've given away on the banter.
And we've given away Uncle Paul's pontoon cruise tour, which is pretty like the best one today.
I would say that's better. Yeah,
I
would have loved that.
I don't know, Danny. Like Danny.
Tell the Patreons.
We're in for a good one for the top shelf Patreon members. I'm not gonna. You can disclose it, but like this is a big one. Danny brought up some a really cool experience. Sometimes we're mailing you stuff, a standard magazine. You know, some melon hats, maybe a Duvin digital gift card,
some wakeboards,
some Ronex wakeboards, some Liquid Force wakeboards. But this time,
we got something in store. Danny, let him have it.
Yeah, it is as long as you can make it to my place, you get to stay at my Airbnb, and I
hope you're in Florida. But if not, you can come.
Oh, yeah,
and this stands for any time when they come down. Maybe give you a heads up.
As long as we discuss
the schedules
it
match.
Yeah. And then a full day of fishing, I think, right?
Yeah,
full day.
Full day of fishing.
Well, Captain Dan.
And did you say it like was that a night at the Airbnb?
A night at the Airbnb, yeah.
Damn. So Danny has an Airbnb down there. So you're gonna come down to Florida.
It's very cheap.
You're gonna do a half day of fishing with Danny.
I think it'll be a full day. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we'll do a full day.
Let's just give him a half day. Come on.
No, let's do a full day. I mean, dude, what if it's a bad half? I want to make sure these people get a good
but then they're also probably going to go and have some drinks and have a dinner. And, I mean, I'm probably going to come down there and join them and whatever. So
we'll
whatever.
See what
that would be pretty sick.
During the full day, there's 2 hours of Reddit kind of stuff.
Yeah, where we talk about flat earthing.
We're going to do a couple we're going to do a couple PowerPoint presentations on no sunscreen and flat earth. So you're going to come out like super. You might come out with a lower IQ, but you're going to be eating some really good fish.
It's almost like a timeshare thing. It's like you got to come down and listen to this, but at the end of it, you get to go fishing with Hamson.
I'm just kidding. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
No, it'll be super fun, man. And I'm just like that somebody come down who's a part of supporting this, because I think this is rad. And thank you guys so much for having me, man. Seriously, I'm not even BSing, it's always a dream come true, and you get to do this kind of stuff. So dude, I don't take it for granted. I haven't talked about it. I don't even know if we've really talked about too much wake-centric stuff tonight. But
no, we haven't.
I haven't talked about this stuff in a while. It's been fun.
Back in the pocket again.
Hey, the banter just goes. You can't point it in any certain direction. It just.
Yeah, if I wasn't so focused with those Reddit guys and solving all the crimes with the Criminal Minds Unit, and everything else, I'd probably get back in. But.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody was wondering why Danny doesn't wake skate anymore, it's because him and his Reddit crew are now setting up a booth at the expo next weekend.
Not to mention, I've been watching a lot of Criminal Minds, the television show, and
how you feeling about that?
I mean, all I do is listen to crime stuff.
You think you could get away with murder nowadays?
No, I solve them.
Oh, you solve them.
But knowing that side, you've got to be able to, get away with something.
Dexter does.
Knowing the darkness doesn't mean the darkness has to prevail.
Damn, dude. Come on now, Shane.
All right,
Shut the
spin
fuck
that
up,
wheel.
Shane.
Spin that wheel.
Shut
Let's see
you
who's
down,
going
dude.
fishing
That's
with Danny.
All right, guys. This is for the Top Shelf Patreon members right now. We're spin the win wheel for the trip with Danny Hampson out on the water fishing for a full day, and possibly
Airbnb.
me and Shane can come down and come and get a part of that experience.
And the Airbnb as well. And we'll have pictures of the Airbnb up.
Yeah,
It is
let's throw up some pictures of the
is so over the top Hemingway, Jimmy Buffett chic.
Fucking let's go, dude. Can you really ask for anything better than that?
All right.
All right, ready? Let's dude, see who wins this thing.
We should almost just give
Win
him
me
the
the
wheel and
greatest
let
prize.
him pick who he wants to go. Just pick a random guy. No, I'm just joking. It's spinning.
It's okay. I haven't spin it yet. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's spin this thing.
Spinning.
All right, guys.
This is a good one.
And the winner of the Danny Hampson fishing experience, Martin Fowler,
Whoa.
dude. This is the first winner of the entire Bonifay Banter thing, dude. This is what
Fowler's going to be a
Martin
fan.
Fowler's
Like,
gonna be
he's
super
sick.
psyched.
He's
dude.
sick. He's
He lives-
awesome.
He lives here in Claremont.
I feel like I may have met
You
Martin.
might have. He's really cool. He's a really good guy.
Dude, and
you
honestly,
need some windows tinted?
You need some windows tinted? Yeah, he's got you.
man.
Martin Fowler, fucking, he'll tint it up. But dude, great dude. Loves wakeboarding, loves wake surfing, the whole like lake life, everything. Lives here in Claremont. Dude, he won the. I gave away a boat, like go out on the boat day at Bob Sitchell's foundation thing that we did. Martin Fowler won
What?
that. So
Dude, he's
we're
just
going out on the boat
he's
up
on the
here.
ups and
Martin,
ups.
we're going down on the boat with Danny Hampson. Let's go, dude. So.
Heck yeah, Martin.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And, dude, and that's what being a Top Shelf member is about. You don't win once, but you can win multiple times, as Martin
As
clearly
is
showed
proof.
right there. Damn,
Yeah.
that's pretty sick.
That is good.
Congrats, Martin.
Yeah, only reason I looked disappointed about the window tinting is just because my buddy, you guys probably know him, Justin. He was a window tinting guy. He was like Andy Laz's buddy.
Yeah.
Good buddy of mine.
I think I
Yeah.
know who you're talking
Passed away.
he just
was,
passed
you
away,
know,
man.
he was
Damn,
my
man.
window tint guy, you know.
about.
Damn, man. Shout out, Justin, dude. That's when you point up, Shane.
Oh yeah, I was late on that one.
No, I'm
Yeah.
psyched though for Martin. Heck yeah. Let's do it, buddy.
Yeah, that'll be good. Martin's a good shit. You'll enjoy it.
Oh.
He might ask you a lot of Wakeskate questions, but
Oh, he's gonna. Yeah.
but we didn't. So
I may or may not have the answer.
Yeah, I feel like we really didn't ask enough
No, we
good
didn't.
Wakeskate.
I mean, I could,
questions
you
in
know,
there.
what do you guys want? What do you want to learn about?
I know what we want to learn about. And this isn't wake skating, but it's during your wake skating career.
Well,
Owen?
you did mention like through this podcast that you just casually kind of said it, that you like broke your neck, and then we kind of like went on to the next thing. We really didn't jump into it, but like I feel like this is one of the craziest like pinnacles probably of your not just wakeboard career or wake skate career, but like your life, man. Like this
Probably like
maybe.
not a pinnacle, maybe.
is the pinnacle wrong word? Yeah.
I
might
mean,
be
pinnacle is
wrong.
high.
Pinnacle is high. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is a pinnacle in some ways because
The pinnacle. Is
I
that a
mean,
word?
I would call it a pinnacle because it helped me like.
So give us the
reevaluate myself.
Give us the quick rundown on what happened, and then I sort of want to know what you're like, what it affected. But like, tell the viewers and listeners like what we're talking about.
It was the day after prom.
Damn.
06. Shout out Cole Show. And I was staying at and she just recently became my girlfriend, her house, and so we took her dad's boat to this place called the Sandbar. It's like a party spot, and I had to go in because it was Mother's Day, and my grandma and my mom were waiting, and I got a ride in with my buddy Sean. He had been partying too much. I wasn't out there with him.
Was it a
specifically.
long day on the sandbar?
I think we woke up really late because, it was prom the night before. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
only
yeah.
out there maybe like, a couple hours, but I think
Yeah.
for him, he had been out
Could've
there a
been.
long time. Whatever. I didn't know what was going on. Yeah. And he was just driving the boat really fast. We went through this little cut.
What like when you mean cut? Is this like you're carving through like because the keys are kind of like
so there's like a mangrove cut and it's
there's the main bridges, but there's also mango cuts so we can kind of get through the keys. Like
so it's maybe like 20 feet wide or whatever.
Yep.
And he said he saw a cooler or something in the water, and I was facing back. It was a little flat skiff, and he swerved to miss it, and he lost control. I went up in the trees and got suspended, got all messed up. So.
Damn, so that's out. I mean, so when he lost control, it probably pulled like a lot of G's in. Like,
I don't remember any of that.
Really?
Yeah, so I was just facing back, and it was him and these two girls, and they were actually from Aruba. I don't even know how that he had met them.
So you got ejected backwards into the
and I was like suspended up there. Like there was a
like how high up?
Like all this stuff in my head is like this all plastic, and like you see this. There's like a scar here, but it's kind of filled with plastic. Like a branch went through my neck there and my whole back,
Through your neck.
Mm-hmm. It was like, they say like millimeters away from my jugular or whatever.
Jesus.
And then obviously like my head's like super cut up.
How long were you there for? I mean, you don't remember, but I guess.
I don't think I was there. I don't think I was.
Did you become conscious like when you were there?
No. I mean, I don't think I was there very long because the Coast Guard station, it was Snake Creek. And you guys have ridden Snake Creek. Like, remember forever ago, like the Hyperlight thing when George was there?
Yeah.
You guys stayed at Holiday Island and you ride Snake Creek?
Yeah.
So the Coast Guard station's right there. And, I don't know. They brought me there and went to the hospital.
So you woke up in the hospital?
Yeah, I woke up in the ambulance, kind of.
In the ambulance.
And I knew the guy, Terry Abel, who was in the ambulance. And they brought me to the hospital. And then I had to get... in the helicopter, and I got brought up to Miami.
So you broke your neck,
and then I was in Miami, like, and I was strapped to like this backboard. And at this point, I was fully conscious, but they thought they were gonna have to like do surgery on my neck and everything, so they wouldn't let me have water, and no one could visit me because I was in like the trauma part, and it's like the gnarliest hospital, it's Jackson Memorial in Miami, and like, that was a gnarly like.
You'd rather 2 days. Out of the country.
It was like 2 days, just like. Can't move. You can't move. No one can visit you, and like no one's coming to see you because other people have gnarlier stuff.
Right, and you can only have water, and like you.
No, I can't have water.
You can't have water.
No water. They'd only give me like if I begged the lady, she would give me like a cotton swab
because they might have to rush you into surgery at any time.
Jesus, this is so crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of gnarly stuff going on around me, but I mean, luckily my brain was bleeding, so like.
Luckily, your brain was. Bleeding.
Well, I mean, like, I don't have, like, full consciousness of what was happening around me because there was, like, a lot of horrible things happening. Like, really, really horrible. Like, little kids that were in a fire and, like, all sorts of horrible things, and you're just strapped there. So, like, all you can hear is, like, all this crazy stuff.
I just think it was crazy how you said, luckily, my brain.
Well, no, I mean, that's not lucky, but you know what I mean?
No,
like,
I mean.
I don't, like, I don't, I think in some ways I was blessed because it could be, like, a lot clearer.
Yeah.
So.
Could have went way different, and you could have not been the same Danny that you are today.
Yeah,
like, it's like.
And then my arm was paralyzed for a while.
I mean, if that's all that's come off, if you can't wipe your butt the same, then and that's only the fucking thing that comes out. I mean, that's dude, you got extremely lucky.
Oh, dude, I'm like the luckiest guy ever, man. So just blessed, So
100%, dude.
It's such.
But yeah, like after, back to where I first said it, like after I did hurt my neck though, like everything used to. Like athletically, as far as water sports, used to come really, really easy to me. But after that, it was like no longer easy. So I had to like really try.
You feel like you had to like relearn, like not just relearn the physical thing in itself. You had to like relearn your body to teach your body, like to
It just wasn't as easy.
It wasn't as easy.
Yeah, it just wasn't.
That had to feel so. What did that feel like? Like learning stuff because you are like one of the most naturally talented. Tony Smith said it. Like, man, he's like you pick everything up and you're literally good at everything you do, whether it's physical, mental. Like you're like, what did that feel like? Kind of like growing up, like everything came to you so natural your entire life, and all of a sudden there's a point to where it's like, it wasn't like because your knee was hurt or something. Like your brain, like it was more. It wasn't just your shoulder. Yeah, like it's kind of weird to like have your
Because I
brain-
mean, after that, I did like my knee and my ankle and my other, like
and
I've
that
done
must
a bunch
seem
of
minor
stuff.
at that point,
Yeah,
right?
it was,
Compared to your
it's
brain,
totally different. Like, yeah, this was like
dealing with your nerves.
just
and
like
your neck.
overall, it was just like it just became so much more. Yeah, it just didn't come as easy. So you just had to like I had to work really hard. Whereas before, like I could like not even ride or whatever and like have fun, party, and then go out there and like be at the level of everybody else. Like now I had to like really try.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
Poor
kinda,
me.
I kind of want to.
I had to go wake skate a bunch.
Well,
And
Tony,
I had to try. I had to think about what I was doing.
I had to try.
but Tony kind of says something. I kind of want to read it. He goes, things that stick out about Danny. He has an immense talent, and that's his probably biggest thing. It looks like it comes easy to him, which it does, but he also works really hard. It has and has a lot of drive, and is despite of casualness, he wants to be the best. Are you more competitive, like kind of like?
Oh yeah, I mean, I used to, I mean, not really like so much against other people. So I was never like the best at contests. Like I won some contests,
But you
did
hold
good.
yourself true, kind of like.
And I was just like always trying to beat myself because like before I got hurt, like so I did Sumato and then I felt like pre-pop wasn't like I didn't step up enough from Sumato, and then I did Such Is Life where I had the ender in that one too, but I didn't feel like that was deserved. And then I had my injury, and then after that I was just like, I'm never gonna do anything again where it's not as good as what I did before. So like it was just all like against myself, really. Like
You felt like that, like after getting back after your neck injury, to where you
yeah,
wouldn't
it
have
is.
the same
Yeah, it
pre-pop
was just like.
section and-
I mean, I'm obviously not gonna quit partying, but I'm
My man.
I'm gonna like, make
It'll
it.
be you, yeah.
I'm gonna make it like where I'm gonna, I've been given a chance to do it again, and maybe it's not as easy, but I'm gonna try. I'm never gonna look back at like a video part or anything I put out. And now looking back at it, and it doesn't seem like it matters that much, but then it mattered so much to me.
Right.
Like I would just obsess over it, not like, ruin relationships, ruin everything, just to like.
You probably held yourself to like a
I just
higher-
wanted to like
yeah.
be better than I was last time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think I did that up until that Graceland part, and that's kind of when I knew I was like kind of done, because I don't think I could go any. I don't think I could have done it better than I did.
Is
You know,
that
and
ki-
obviously these other kids are like so freaking good or whatever. But at that point, I was just like, maybe maxed out body wise.
Yeah.
Is that before push process or after push process when you signed with Oakley?
Push process. I signed with Oakley when I was
2015.
So push process came about.
That's 2005-ish, I think.
Oh, like we had started push process, kind of. The idea was there, and we knew we were gonna do it, and then I broke my neck. So while we were filming for push process, I just come back from the neck thing, and then I broke my ankle too.
Damn, so you were going through just a crazy uphill, relentless
Yeah.
battle of like shit.
And then like right after that, I blew my knee too. So yeah, it was just like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. And that's a brutal run.
But I mean, it's just like to me, it was always just like
Part
after
of-
the neck thing, like the other stuff was just like it's just time.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine like after the neck thing, you getting back and like starting to wake. Imagine a part of you questioned if you would ever like be able to do what you did.
Oh,
again.
100%.
So the
yeah.
fact that you like rolled your ankle or blew your knee or fucking anything that came after that was just like peanuts at that point. It's
Yeah.
like, to you mentally. I mean, it sucked time wise, but it was like, dude, I can fucking like take on any time. I can do rehab. But like, I mean, imagine just everything seemed like, even though you were like hit with bam, like a big injury, another injury, the two after that must have just been like a downhill fucking sidewalk.
I mean, there's been a bunch in between that, but it was just like at the, it's still today. It's like, I never ever will complain about anything, like, cause like I'm just lucky to even be in the position I'm at, so I'm just,
Get you.
you gotta feel blessed. So you can't complain about it, but yeah, I mean, sometimes it takes a little more oil for me to get around than it used to.
They all tend to.
Grease this fucker up, dude. I
No,
love it,
it's
dude.
good. Thank you for telling that.
Yeah,
man. Everybody has a knee injury or some sort of shoulder or ankle injury, but to have that, it's like
Yeah, and I
Just
mean, there's
such
like a lot of guilt associated as well because like at that time in my life, like I was young and I got on cassette and all that, and like I was not like I was making tons of money like you guys were when you were that age, but I was like making enough money where I was like, independently like doing whatever I wanted, and it was just kind of like, like, and after that happened, like it just changed my whole
really checks it up and maybe makes you step up.
It has changed my whole perspective.
I felt the same thing when I had the infection with my knee, and it was just like it made me almost just like, I mean, I blew my knee out multiple times before that, had tons of surgeries, and I've just like, but when it really like hits you, and something like really question, like you almost like pull back from afar, and you see kind of like your career, your family, you see, and everything kind of like you prioritize like what's important and kind of like and how valuable fucking some of this shit is, man. And
you
like
put value on life.
Like 100%. Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. It's just and it sucks that like I wish that like we could just like I wish that would like hit you in the face easier and it wouldn't have to take like a traumatic neck like or anything to like to truly grasp how important and how short this life is and how much like just you really just gotta, it sounds so cliche, but to live in the day and really just fucking go get it while you can, because like nothing's promised tomorrow, no health is promised tomorrow, man. And like as we get older, man, we really get, I think you gotta lean on that, man. You gotta like when the getting's good, you gotta take advantage
dude, when
of
the
it,
sun's
man.
shining, you gotta
get
dude,
tan,
I feel
get
guilty
fucking
now.
tan.
Yeah, I literally feel so guilty now if I'm not like, if it's nice outside and I'm not like doing something like, like if I don't have to work, I mean like, I just like, I don't know. You just want to,
You do.
Yeah, you want to max it out. You know what I mean? So it's and I think for a while, maybe I maxed it out in like weird ways. Like I'd go on trips or whatever, be on, going to a different contest or whatever and be like, all right, well, I'm in Minnesota and none of my friends are here. So I'm going to party as hard as I can because I get to do that. I'm doing it for my boy. But then like looking back now, like I had good intentions with like trying to live it as hard as I could. But I kind of wish like there's so many good skate parks I didn't go to. There's so many other fun things I could have done. And then, like in a way, like I look at these kids now that are doing it and like they're just a little more reserved, they're more mature.
Do you think they're taking advantage of like the going to the state parks and like maybe
I don't
know.
know.
Are they on their phones and maybe they're not going out getting wasted? But like maybe are they too reserved to where they're not getting out and getting?
That's true. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know what they're doing, but like if I could go back, I would live it up in a slightly different way. I wouldn't take anything back, but like you know what I mean. I would just. I don't know, like listening,
a little different.
Listening, like the thing, like just bungee jumping and this. I hate bungee jumping. They brought me to that bridge, dude. I was there for a week once with Brian and his Kentucky buddies, and I did not.
Robbie Hatcher, vertical bungee.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
I hated it, dude. But I mean,
that's what you get for hanging out with Grub.
I didn't even know. I came back from Cancun. I like announced a contest or something, and I came back and Grub's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go somewhere and we're gonna ride for the magazine." I was like, "Okay." So
surprise, motherfucker!
Yeah, dude. They made me camp on that thing, and I'm terrified of heights. I was like, almost in tears the whole time. And then they made me jump off it like a bunch of times, and like they would do things to me like lengthen my cord without telling me, so my head would go in the water. I mean, those guys are super kind. Like Robbie and all those guys are wonderful, but it's just like
it's good to scare you a little bit. I think it's good to get out of the.
I mean, it made my fear of heights worse.
It was worse after that. You didn't conquer anything. You got unconquered.
No. It made it far
the line's further pushed back. Huh?
Yeah. But no, I mean, I don't know. I just think, looking back, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I'd just like be in a hotel bar, like, oh yeah, I'm living it up. I'm staying up late, but like really, like,
hey, don't sell the hotel lobby bars with the right group of people.
Oh no, I loved it, but you know what I mean. Like,
no, I 100%. Yeah, I get you.
I mean, dude, I'll never change anything. I did it hard, dude.
I mean, if we could live life in reverse, we'd all be rich.
No, I don't regret it. I mean, I definitely have a bunch of funny stories, and incredible experiences from. Going as hard as I did. But like, I think like I was like doing it like as like a thing, like I'm never gonna waste 1 minute. Like, if I get to go on a free trip, I'm gonna fucking go as hard as I can.
Isn't that a great way to look back at it? Like, it's like obviously you would tweak a couple of the parameters
definitely
a little
tweak
bit,
it.
but like you'd write the prompt a little different. But but the initial thing was pretty damn. I mean, and I think we all can speak here on the same table that we can lift up a beer right here to the to the young lives we lived in this. I mean, what wakeboarding and wake skating has given us, man. And you know, we're going to relay this to the parents that we are raised by, man, because me and Shane wouldn't be who we are, you and Mikey. Yeah, I mean, our parents, and I feel like in wakeboarding, more than probably other sports, because I feel like you can surf like by yourself, but like skate by yourself. When wakeboarding on almost all levels, like, maybe with cable, it's a little different, but like it takes a family to kind of like
for sure,
to create this kind of stuff and give us the lives that we lived at a young age to kind of like be who we are today, man. And tip of the cap to Betty Bonifay, Tim and Jackie, dude.
Oh, hey, Pete. I mean, I feel like the luckiest person in the world.
Betty B and Pete,
I got punched a good ticket, man. I don't know.
Hey, we had a lot of fun, and it went for a long time. We had a good one, good run.
It was and I guess we could probably wrap this thing up right now, dude. We've been going at it for a little bit right now. Hey, Bro Stock is this weekend. This will come out after Bro Stock, but they're doing it up at Atlanta
Bro Stock is
on Lake
back.
Lanier, dude. I feel like Liquid should buy a late ticket for Danny Hampson to come enter the double up contest. You and Aaron Reed used to fucking ride back in the Bro Stocks.
Balzer actually was like,
Balzer
he was really good.
Oh, Balzer, yeah, but Balzer
really
did
did good back fives. I just did the roll to reverb.
Yeah, but that's close.
That was an amazing roll to reverb. Yeah,
It's
I never
amazing.
grabbed
Yeah,
it.
you should see this thing.
I love to open it up right off the hip.
Yeah, hips up, like
No, just you open up your whole body.
yeah.
Because
Almost how
the
Parks would
double
do.
F's giving you the kick, and it depends on what kind of spectra you have.
Trust me, it's what my double cabbie lived on.
That's a callback right there. That was a solid callback to some section.
What he said?
It depends on what kind of spectra you have, where you have to have your arm at to finish the rotation.
Yeah.
Just open it.
No, that's good.
Yeah, dude, you got to have that right stretch, dude, so it doesn't pull that fucking.
No, seriously, thank you guys so much for having me, man.
Thank you so much for coming
honestly,
up.
I never take it for granted. Dream come true. Thank you,
Honestly,
boys.
love it, Dan.
Thank you
Such
for
an honor
everyone
to
that
have
ever
you in
watched.
here. It was a good time, and thank you so much for giving up your day to take one of these Patreon members.
Oh no, I'm
Drake
psyched,
on
man.
it.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Martin's gonna have a great
Martin
time.
Fowler, hopefully we get down there and we can get on the.
Oh, dude, I've been trying to get you guys down forever, and I was trying to get you guys down before when the back house sucked, so now it's really nice.
Yeah, that's what we were waiting for.
Come see Lake Worthless, man.
Yeah,
Lakewood Beach.
Yeah, there's like that Florida Man account or whatever, and he made a post. He's like, it's harder for a person what is the thing? Like, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than from a person from Lake Worth Beach to go to heaven.
I typically ask people what they're going to say at the end, but I think that was a great, perfect sign off right there.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Dan. You're the man, dude. Love you, dude. Thanks for driving
Love
up.
you guys. Thanks, man.
All the Patreon members, we really appreciate all the support. And what is this episode 10?
This is episode 10.
Damn, dude. We're
Big
double
10.
digits now. We've made it.
Yeah.
Thank you all the Patreon members and everyone who's like watched us and got behind us. Like, subscribe on YouTube. And man, Shane, thank you. Danny, love y'all.
Live fast, die last.
Episode 10
In the books.
books.